don't smash on it. And it's crazy you doing this. Well, maybe we should kind of start, I guess.
No, you're okay.
Most of the shit we're going to talk about, I feel like we can talk about on the thing too, though. Because I'm trying to move into full-time content creating as far as doing vlogs.
Really?
So, yeah, I've got a video posting today at 3. It's scheduled now. I've done about 4 or 5 so far. It's all on YouTube.
Okay, hold on. Let's get this going.
Yeah,
this is going to be a natural conversation.
Yeah, for sure. And I've been, let me tell you what's crazy, bro. I wish I'd have hit you literally the day before you hit me.
Really?
About this. Because I swear if I'm lying, I'm dying on my life. I said to myself, like, damn, I need to hit Rios up. I want to do his podcast. Nigga, you called me hit me the next day. I'm like, oh, nah, this is crazy. Dude, I'm not even bullshitting you. On some real shit, I really was like, man, I got to hit Rios up. I want to do his podcast. Because it's funny, because even when I came through to
Ace Boys
shit, nigga, me and you was just, the jokes was, I said, oh, no, this nigga's a fool. So I'm like, I can't wait to do this podcast. And I was like, I'm going to hit him, man, see if he can let me do it. So
I wanted to make sure, because I knew this was going to be a quality podcast. You know what I mean? It's going to be great content. I wanted to make sure that I had my shit together.
I dig it.
You know what I mean? Like,
I dig it.
Make sure that this shit is right. Because I had brought one person over, didn't get the audio.
Yeah,
like,
right.
So it's just,
you go through your shit in the beginning. Yeah, for sure. You'll go through your stuff, for sure.
And so now I feel like I'm good. Like AD was the first one where I got to use this in its totality.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
with the screen and all that?
The screen where I don't have to go through like the software program or OBS because it only records one program. It's about to get crazy.
I know.
Because did you hear that new thing that YouTube is doing?
Shorts? Wait, which one? What part? With hype?
No, nigga, like so. Now they're allowing individual content creators to create movies, shows without having to go through any kind of studio house.
Word.
And it's going to be like your own Netflix. Like
so you got your own, basically own studio.
Own studio. I don't know if they have a regiment for what kind of camera they're going to want you to use, or if it's like a minimum or bottom tier camera that you have to use to do it.
I don't know why they would do that, because
motherfuckers is doing shit on their phones.
I know Netflix got their standard bottom camera that you can use, but with YouTube, it's like we're already in the spaces of creating short film with, hell, the phones is getting better quality. They're shooting 4K 60.
Yeah.
Some are shooting 8K depending on what new phone's coming out. So I'm like, shit, that's crazy.
It's going to be...
It's almost like no excuse to not get the money.
No excuse not to get the money.
You know
like they're almost cutting out the middleman. And so now that they're in competition with Netflix, now YouTube is like, we got this on lock. But you know what? We still going after everything else.
Absolutely.
And
100%.
And the way it's going is individually, they're seeing that it's not the megastars. It's not this and that. It's these individual people that are taking off in the part of the journey.
Absolutely.
And people are being interested and invested in the individual.
And here's the thing too, what's dope about the space of content creating in general is that even when you hear like, oh, the podcast space is crowded, or the YouTube space is crowded or overcrowded, or something, the rumors of something is dead. No. Yeah, like there's only one Ace Boy Rios. So that means if there's millions of people that want to hear him, then they're going to go to him. And same thing for every other content creator. It's wide open for us to really make this your thing.
Right.
Like even watching Pun and them. Watching Pun and AD go from just like the homies who do music to turn into like podcasts. Like they're at the top of the food chain. And I won't even just say West Coast for sure, but
they're up there with the big dogs.
Man, they're up there with the big dogs. They're being mentioned alongside all the other podcasts that's supposedly the biggest podcast. So to watch all y'all do that, and then it's all tied together. So you don't talk about like community without Ace Boys, without Fig Community, without
Back on Fig.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So I just think it's the smart thing to do. So for all your, even with you doing your own thing, because that's what Trey should do, and that's what the rest of the homies should do.
Right.
To also, because you're gonna still got the hub. The hub is the hub. That's another stream of income. Now you got another stream of income. And whatever you build from here is going to be a whole nother stream of income.
Whole nother stream.
It's wide open for you to get the money.
And they're not asking you to be anybody than who you are.
That's it, bro. Bro, that's
it's
it.
Almost.
You know what I mean?
It's almost
unfair. It's almost like, is this real?
Is this real? And it's like, am I crazy if I don't pursue this?
Yeah, I think.
Because it's like, you know what I mean? Because
so.
it's if you get 1,000 people to want to just know what you're doing, if it's 4 billion people on YouTube,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
You get 0.5% of that.
So for you to think it's overcrowded, or you can't make your way or your lane, the math don't even make sense.
The math don't even make sense.
It makes sense because it's for you to look. One thing I tell a new user in general, like when it comes to, for example, I'm now vlogging now.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand how the numbers work. So I don't get down on myself if I do a video and it's 80 views.
Yeah,
something. Or 100 views, or this is 300 views. Because I put a couple things in perspective. You know, you can look at that like a low ball number because you thinking hundreds of thousands and all that, whatever. Nigga, right now, if 80 people pull up at your house right now.
Nigga, you popping.
You know what I'm saying? I'll call the police.
I got 80 motherfuckers myself.
Hey, somebody, you know what I'm saying? You got to go get some, go get some out the back.
Right.
You know, so when you think about that, it puts things in perspective of how kind of jaded we are with the comparison. Like, you know, it's a comparison to thief of joy. Right, so if you looking at somebody who gets, if I'm looking at Ace Boys and I'm like, damn, I do my streaming and it don't get 50,000.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm looking at y'all every video getting 80, 100, something. I'm like, damn, I'm not doing good. No. That they've been doing it for a while. They've been building their community. They got networks. They did the work to get that. So you'll get there as long as you grow gradually and be fine with that. Then cool. And you got to understand, to your point also, it's enough room for us to get busy. And you look crazy not doing it.
You look crazy because you're really discouraging yourself out of the room. You're pushing yourself out of the room where it's like, what, you don't think that you deserve it? You don't think that you're interesting enough to garner this attention or whatever?
100%.
And I feel like this is why I like Reality Check, is because it gets to show everyone's individual story.
For sure.
And everybody is interested.
For sure.
Because it's like it's a fingerprint, right?
Man, you know what's crazy too? You know, it depends. Like, for example, there's Ace Boys, right? But Rios might have he might got a whole nother side to him that he wants to show also. We don't know what Rios like. I mean, there's Ace Boys and we clowning and joking and clowning and all that, whatever, but you might be a chef on the low. And nobody even know. Like, Manny. Now you got a cooking show.
Look
like
at Manny.
Right? So, or do music or photography or whatever. So it just makes sense to go in them lanes and carve out a space for yourself.
Right.
You know, so I be telling my people all the time, like, hey, I'm doing these vlogs. I'm trying to, you know what I mean? Because I really want to do this. Because I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about here. I'll be 45 this year. That means I got 45 years of experience behind me of stuff I want to talk about.
Right.
Different parts of my life. I'm married. I done gave my life to God. I was a rapper. I'm still a fool. I'm a clown. I clown
top
my friends.
Rapper, not just
Thank
a rapper.
Appreciate that.
Like you was actually in the game doing your thing. So not just a rap. Like you was a man. You was a man in the game.
Appreciate that. And I got tons of stories and experiences from that shaped the way I see the game today.
Okay.
And when it come to, like, if I got to give a youngin some or mentor or something or some game or I got something to tell somebody, right? Maybe I can help with something. You know what I mean? So, Pun, same thing. He did so many years in the music, and still doing so many years in the music game that he got tons of information and knowledge to offer somebody. Knowledge. Absolutely, 100%.
And the really powerful thing behind this is, just like you're talking about mentoring, right? And being on your positive walk in life, walking with God, is sometimes, that one-on-one conversation with a young man, young woman, or whoever you're talking with is very powerful.
For sure.
But it goes to, it's there, unless they tell that story to somebody else.
For sure. Yeah.
At the bare minimum, if you want to look at it at the lowest foundation, is like, I'm archiving my information.
For sure.
So that people can access my photo album.
Whenever you want.
Because
I say video, I do it all the time where I see a video that inspires me or I get tips for something, whether it's how to vlog or how to do editing, how to get better with your coloring. And I'm saving these videos and I'm learning from them and I keep them. So when I learn, and I'll pass it to somebody else if they need information. So when you do document this stuff, whether it's your lifestyle, mentoring, coaching, how-to videos, whatever, then it's something for the people that can live forever.
Right.
And people can continuously learn from you.
Right.
You know, so yeah. And here's the thing, the point I made about you being Ace Boys and y'all have Ace Boys community, I mean, your podcast, but Rios doing his own thing, because there's people that watch y'all and there's people that like Manny. There's people that love Trey.
Right.
There's people that just love Pun. There's people that just love Rio.
Right.
So these people want y'all to have your own spaces also. And also want to have the Ace Boys, the hub channel.
Yeah.
Right. So it makes sense to separate it and then go for the people. It might be somebody, this is how real, like me and Prob we always rap together, right?
Right.
There was people that probably didn't like Luck, but like Prob. You know what I mean? Or didn't like
Or
Prob,
vice versa,
but like
yeah.
vice versa. So it's like you separate, do your own thing, and then come back together also and get the money also.
Right.
So just carve it out lanes for ourselves and there's space for us to do that.
Thank you. And it gives you room to, like, as the consumer, right?
For sure.
It gives you room to appreciate when it does come back together. Or when
100%.
It's not the stagnancy of the same thing every time.
100%.
You know, them all in the same room or this and that. This is the same thing. But just like with Andre 3000 and Big Boy, going and splitting and doing their music, and then when they come back, like, oh, I just want that
It's a big
reunion
deal.
album. Like it gives a want and a need. And so this is such a powerful arena now because your voice is traveling beyond your city, beyond your
100%.
state. It's like you have a megaphone on steroids now.
Yeah, people overseas, out the country, people in Africa listen to y'all, people in Greece, people in Germany, people in Switzerland. Like some people there's people somewhere barely speaking English but laughing at y'all.
Right. And
You know
we
what I mean?
get
You know what I'm
messages
saying?
all the time.
For
Like
sure.
I'm coming from South Africa or this and that, or I'm watching from New Zealand. And it's like, damn, I'd have never thought this for us. You know?
So yeah, so think about that when you creating. Like, man, you ain't never just speaking unless the camera's not on, the mic's not on. You never just speaking to yourself.
Right.
Like anytime you are public on a platform speaking outward, there's tons of people you speaking to. So that goes, and not to get too deep, but that always goes into you got to be very aware of how you speak and
Just
what you
power
put
the
out
tongue.
and what you are talking to people,
Right.
right? Because if you're saying some BS or misleading people, you could be misleading millions.
Millions.
Right? Or if you don't tell your truth, or if you don't keep it 100, or if you just being crazy just to be crazy, right? Like it's just like people talk about the rap stuff. Where we were young and stupid, we rapped about a lot of young stupid stuff. But if I'm rapping about guns all the time and I'm on the block and I'm doing this or whatever, and I'm like, no, it's just entertainment.
Yeah.
Right. But if you got to talk to people who like, man, I was out here riding because of this.
Right.
Like
Exactly.
These songs was a soundtrack to me when I was out here doing my thing.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Or,
Right.
it's kind of like, man, like, well, what are you teaching driving people to do? What do you know what I mean?
What's your mission? What's your motive?
What's your mission? What's your motive?
Like, what's
what I
your
mean?
purpose here? And it's like the purpose-driven life. And we are gonna get deep on this. Like, it ain't let's not go too deep.
For sure.
Because this is the place and platform for you to go as far as you want.
Bet.
You know what I mean? And so, because you touched on the power of the tongue and the messaging that you're putting out, right? Like, and I got really stuck for a second just processing and reflecting on creating content and people saying, oh, it's just content. But to me, that's a way of like a cop out.
Oh, like it don't mean anything?
It don't mean anything. Like it's
Nah,
just
nah,
content.
nah.
It's just like with rappers. You like, now that we're older, we realize, okay, we did have messaging and it could have
Yeah.
affected what somebody's
Yeah.
outlook or whatever.
For sure.
For sure, right?
100%.
And so there's certain music I listened to from back in the day. It might take me back to how, like, a certain feeling.
It
But-
takes you to a different mind frame. I knew what it was like when I was turned up on BS. Whatever type of BS was on,
Right.
I had a song for it.
Right.
Or a playlist or something for it. So that means that music is is speaking to me in a language that's driving me towards this energy.
Driving
right?
me.
So if it was women based or hood based, it's you on what you on.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that means that music is speaking to somebody. And when you think about it, if you ask 45-year-old me, what do you feel about your song being the soundtrack for a drive-by or something?
Right.
Or what do you feel about when they get turned up, they about to go do they 1-2, they turn this song on?
Right. They're about to go
When the
slide.
first time I ever did The first time I ever did Where You From live was at the Vault in Long Beach.
Oh, shit.
First time I ever did Where You From. I remember I performed on stage, and it was me and my man Damani on stage, and it was his set.
Yeah.
And he let me perform. It's the first time anybody ever heard it, other than him.
Oh, really?
No, it wasn't on because Dada put it on in rest in peace, my man Cartoon.
Rest in peace.
They put it on the DVD, the mixtape, the DVD.
So not only is the first performance, it's the first time people are hearing it.
Nobody heard it before. Okay. Only Damani heard it.
Okay.
And the person I recorded with THX who did the beat. And so it wasn't on that DVD yet. Snoop, nobody heard it. And he wanted me to perform it because he loved it. Nobody heard it. He was like, man, you got to do it. I did that song. A riot broke out. Dude, the hook is screaming over where you from, where you from.
Right.
It felt like the whole entire Long Beach was in there.
That's 3 words that are so powerful in our community.
Dog.
Where you from? That is a powerful question that has a lot of
I didn't even get the second verse. I did the first verse. The hook came on. They was gang banging. And then once people found out who was where, riot.
Right. Yeah.
Then everybody around had to run off the stage. We had to get out. They had to shut the club down. It was over.
Oh, you have the nerve to be proud where you from?
Damani kept saying, I told you, nigga. I told you. He was just saying, that's the one. I told you. I told you. But we was out of there, though. But also,
exactly.
I told you. And I'm like,
it's a snapshot.
Back then, it was a high. It was like
a snapshot of like, look at what it does.
Yeah, it was a high. But when I think back now, I'm like, man, did I really want that reaction? I had fun, man. I don't regret a lot of the movies I made because it made me who I am today. But 44, 45-year-old me, is that a reaction from a song I want to? Would I want that reaction now? Nah. What if somebody got shot?
Yeah.
Am I the purveyor of that? Like, I didn't put the gun in the hand, but I set the stage.
Right.
I set the soundtrack up. You know, they say in church all the time, sometimes my pastor, he always say, no, when cut the music because he wants you to praise because he wants you to praise. Don't let the music hype you up.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the music does do that.
Right.
So same thing when you're out here in the streets or whatever you're doing. To your point, content ain't just content.
It's not.
Somebody living and dying by it.
Somebody is living and dying by it. And it's and I was saying, like, this is such an infancy stage, just streaming this content, these podcasts,
for sure.
Especially in our world. You know what I mean? Like, they've been doing it for a minute, but now it's touching where we about to take over.
Yep.
Just like we always do.
Like all content.
Like
everything.
all content, everything.
Yep.
And so if we start off with that element of, I don't want to call it ignorance, but of downplaying what we're saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, no, it don't matter. Like, if we start there, it's just going to get lower and lower and lower.
And that's what happened. That's literally what happened. It's just entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
We keep telling ourselves that. It's just entertainment. Ain't nothing just entertainment.
Nothing.
If I look back to all the stuff that influenced me, whether it was cartoons, movies, I remember the first time I saw porn for the first time.
Right.
Then my addiction started after that of porn. Right. Because I was now I can go see all these things I wasn't supposed to see.
Right.
And now you just turned up by it. Right. And so if you've been watching porn, then now you at home trying to expect your wife to do things that's just she ain't into.
Yeah.
Or you probably ain't even into them. You just experiment you just been so like hyper pumped, something been pumped up to you that now you just think you playing with. It's like Pandora's box.
Overstimulated.
You're overstimulated. So now you're just trying to get into things you really ain't prepared for.
Right.
Right. So same thing with streets or music or whatever the case may be. So it ain't just content and it ain't just entertainment.
Mm-mm.
Like you ain't just doing like a song and dance show, which just dated me because I said song and dance show. That was very old school.
Yeah.
But but it's real. It's not just entertainment, you know. And we just got to be. We have to be. In my opinion, people are gonna do what they can do regardless. But we just got to be very aware of what we putting out. You ain't got to be a square. You ain't got to be like, buttoned up and we don't have no fun. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that what we do and say can come back.
Right.
And if I can positively change somebody out there or teach somebody something, you definitely can do it negatively.
Right.
So when you ask yourself, well, which one would you rather do? That's something you got to sit with yourself with.
You got to sit with that. And you got to be conscious of your power.
100. Yeah, 100%.
You have to be conscious of your power.
Absolutely.
Like, because we'll try to undermine it. Like, I ain't nobody listening to me. No, people are listening. And you know how many times we've heard somebody say, as they're talking to an artist, your music got me through my worst moment in my life, or you got me out of my depression. I didn't want to leave the house or whatever. And that's music speaking to somebody's soul.
Yep.
And it's dated all the way into the Bible, the power of music.
100%.
With the worst angel of them all. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
And so he was able to influence other angels against God, which they see.
Yes.
And if think about how powerful
that's why I argue with people. That's why I don't argue with people.
Like, he got them to go against what they've seen in the flesh in person through music.
Bro. People aren't you ain't gotta be religious or not. I'm just talking about people who are, let's just say, believers of the Bible.
Right.
If you just believe what happened.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't gotta be a Christian, you ain't gotta be whatever. If you just believe it, you can call yourself whatever you want to call it. But if you were to believe it, if Lucifer took a third, that's a whole lot.
That's a whole lot.
If he took a third of the angels with him, we talking about angels who were with God.
With him.
We're not talking about us down here trying to figure out if he real or not. Or somebody got strong faith and somebody don't. We talking about outside of the realm of what God. We talking about people who were there with him. They with him.
Right.
And a third of them got on.
Like, oh,
shoot. Because of Lucifer, either whatever, how I don't know how he was very charming, very, you know what I mean?
Is the power of the tongue
and
the music.
Was the musical, whatever, all that. His body was made of all instruments and all that, right? Like, so if that happened, then of course down here people are doing the same thing. So I don't argue that with people. It's hard. I try to explain because I find myself I defend the faith, when I have to, when I'm supposed to, and when I'm led to.
Right.
But not even just from a religious point of view, just in any point of view. Like, people just should be very aware, and a lot of people just don't care.
They don't care. But this is the thing. People have to take, like sometimes you have to feed people the Bible in portions and surfaces and layers, right?
For sure.
Like, okay, take it out. Just take it as just a story. Take this as if somebody just wrote this story. Do you know how long ago they wrote this? And how relevant it is today? Mm-hmm. People are making beats that are based on the rhythm of your heart, or 808s, or whatever this stuff is called, and it affects your whole flow and rhythm of your body. They were talking about this. Take it out. Take the religion out. But they were writing about this back then.
Thousands of years ago.
Come on, like, we got to give some relevance to this. You know what I mean? Like, at some point.
Yeah, people. People are. It's kind of like Florida. Everybody like, show me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, show me. I don't believe it. Where's the evidence? But faith, a lot of times. Well, there's tons of evidence, but also faith doesn't need it.
Doesn't.
You know what I mean? So I don't base my faith on if somebody found Jesus' sandals or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't put my faith in that. And it's hard to argue with people who just going to fight that and refuse to even go there with you or be open-minded to think anything.
It doesn't matter if you give them concrete, if certain kind of person, you could give them concrete evidence.
It don't matter.
It doesn't matter. They're still going to find another reason to argue it against it.
Because if you believe any of it, when he was here, they didn't believe him either. Tons of people didn't believe him either.
Now, when you put that into context, that's just crazy.
Think about when they talk about you.
Right.
Like if somebody hating on Rios, why should Rios wreck his day about somebody hating on him when that happened to him?
Right. To the greatest.
Just do your thing.
Do your thing.
You here. You got your supporters, people support you, got family, your friends, the homies, and your fans to support you. That's what you focus on.
Right.
Because people outside of that would tear you apart.
Tear you down.
If you let them, man, we are on the internet. I am a fat dude on the internet. Like, dude, all the jokes. Yeah. I have the most fat jokes ever. Right. So imagine what somebody can tell me on the internet. So if I have tough skin and be able to deal with that, I should not be on the internet.
Right.
I should not be doing podcasts and doing all, you know what I mean? First time I went to these podcasts, they clowned all on the.
Yeah.
I'm just clowning back.
Right.
And what happens is that turned into love. Now they talking about, man, you should bring Luck back.
Right.
Because I didn't get all salty about it and have a fit about, they like, oh no, he cool. He just like us. He laughing and joking. So, we don't bother ourselves with none of that, man. We just kind of like, let me build my world out, and whoever want to come in my world and enjoy the things I talk about and love and I speak, whatever, then cool, you come hang out. If you don't, just go on to the next person.
Go on to the next. And that's a part of our upbringing is a little bit of hazing.
Yeah.
Like we're not extreme, like sometimes, but like we were brought up in the hazing, the bagging.
Tough skin.
And it was like, if people weren't messing with you or bagging on you, they really don't care about it. Like you ain't a.
You got to develop that muscle.
You got to develop it.
And here's the thing, it's going to sound crazy because, they think we just trying to be old heads when we say like, people are softer nowadays. Right. We'll say
100.
that, because if back in the day, me and a homie, whatever homie, we could be in a circle of people, and me and this dude could be going back and forth with jokes for hours.
Right.
Everybody laughing. I didn't want to go home and kill myself.
No.
I didn't cry in the bed. We both got good jokes, so we both laughed the next day, and we still homies.
And came back at it the next day.
Even me and Pun and Pride, we used to clown each other all the time. Being on the road, being with Pun all the time, jokes is flying. Right, so if you
like, he be throwing some cold ones.
Jokes is flying, and I don't care, even your darkest insecurities is something gonna pop up. So if you don't build that tough skin, it's gonna be hard to deal with the internet, dealing with strangers, and so I'm glad that I had to build my tough skin coming up in school and I had to be funny,
right?
So I was gonna get smoked. When the clown when it comes to clowning, like so. You had to have, and nowadays it's like, oh no, you shouldn't say that about people. It's body shaming. I'm like, man, them is two friends going at it.
Bagging
like they developing a muscle that y'all don't understand. It's culture at this point.
Right.
And when you try to teach culture, if you ain't from it, you won't get it.
You won't get it.
So that's the problem with a lot of people, how they look at us in general, no matter what we doing.
But that's why we're always laughing, we're smiling. It carried us through some dark times.
For sure.
It carried us through a lot of dark times and dark eras, a bunch, back to back to back. And how did we get through it? We got through it with laughter. We got through it with love. We got through it with art. We got through it expressing ourselves.
This ain't the worst.
This ain't the worst.
We done been through enough stuff. If Rios, Pun, whoever, all the homies, if y'all can literally be like, you know what? I'm not doing my 9-to-5 job no more because there's a career here.
Right.
And this career is paying bills and putting y'all in people's faces and putting y'all in rooms that y'all ain't never been, then that's a blessing. And if it got that real, that means it can get bigger.
Right.
And become more. So why would I complain about all the rest of this stuff or worry about all the rest of the stuff when I done carved out a lane for myself? Bro, we are sitting in your spot with cameras and the setup, and you can build a career right here.
Right here.
You are building a career right here. So when you could be on some job that you hate,
right,
under some boss you don't respect, getting yelled at by your wife about a check that ain't enough.
Right.
So,
exactly. On so many levels.
On so many levels, it can be that, but it's not that. So we thank God for that.
Absolutely.
And that's why you continuously, man, and I just want to say, man, hats off to you too.
Thank you.
The fact that you stepped out on your own also, obviously with the support and guidance of all your friends and all your family in the community. But it takes courage and heart to do that, because some people are scared to make a move and step out on their own and do their thing, and then even coming back into the fold.
Yeah.
So I got hats off to you, man, and hats off for continually going. You know what I mean? Like you said, 11 something. You got maybe 11 episodes in. This
is 11 right here.
That's just consistency is all it's gonna do is pay off. You're gonna get bigger and better, and then it's gonna be a time where you can't do it at the house. Now you got to get a spot.
You got to get a spot.
You got to get a spot. You got to get something for that, because it's bigger. Oh, now you got to hire somebody. You got to hire somebody to do the editing and the mixing and all that stuff like that. That's what consistency builds. So I applaud all y'all for carving out your own lane in these spaces and making a name, because We didn't have it. We only had the rappers that came out.
Right.
Or some basketball players that made it to the league or football, whatever.
Right.
But when it come to like content space, we didn't have a lot of people in these spaces. And now we got a whole network of the homies.
Of opportunity with the homies.
You know what I'm
like,
saying?
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Like,
you can tour and be on the East Coast and all that and build a fan base and fam.
And it trips me out. And I thank God at night, like every night, I'm thanking God for the opportunity for what he's providing for me and like me stepping out on faith, right? Mm-hmm. Stepping out on faith and putting your faith in God and putting faith in the mission at hand. It's like, I'm not doing nothing negative.
No.
I'm doing something positive.
For sure.
And it's my people that are platforming that I find to be dope as hell.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like, Bad Lucc, dope.
Appreciate that.
I get to have him on my couch and get to have a conversation where people get to see in depth how far your brain goes. Like,
appreciate that.
And you're one of the most intelligent, well-spoken.
Thank you.
And I hate to say well-spoken because that was used against us.
No, I can say,
but
yeah.
You are so
I used to get that interview.
Yeah. Oh, you're so well-spoken.
Yeah.
But you know what? Fuck that. I'm not going to let them take that from us.
For sure,
you know what I mean?
Sure,
like,
yeah.
you are. And hilarious. Like, you're multi-talented. So I really did want to ask you, did you ever think about comedy? Did you ever think about stand-up or anything like that?
Only because people have told me I should think about it. But when it comes to what a lot of people don't know about me is I get extremely, not necessarily nervous, but my anxiety goes through the roof if I ever thought about the spotlight just being on me for long periods of time as far as jokes. Okay. Now, here's the crazy part. If there's a room full of thousands of people, right, and we in there hanging out, and I happen to be clowning with you, we clowning, not each other, we just clowning, and then a room circles around us and just laughing at our jokes to keep... I can do that all day long.
All day long.
I can control that whole room.
I've seen it.
But if it's like to come see me, to come do that and then go, all right, start your jokes, go.
1, 2, 3,
do
go.
That. I'll pass out.
Lights, camera, and action.
I'll pass out. Not happening. I can't do it.
I was thinking about doing some improv classes.
Word.
Like, just to do it, just because
that's dope.
Now that I have freedom and we're in a space now where you need to have as much in your tool belt as possible because you never know what opportunity may arise. And for you, I just see an endless amount of opportunities. You know what I mean? Like acting, comedy, with your vlogging.
Bro, I'm going to show you off, and I'm going to show you off, when we get off air too, some other stuff I'm working on dealing with acting.
Okay.
So I'll show you, but no, you 100% right. Like I want to do so many things as far as like comedic. Yeah. I'll say that. Yeah. I'll say comedic. Not stand up because I don't have the guts for that, and it's still a skill level to learning how to lay out jokes and bring them back and telling stories and all that. So I don't want to disrespect the craft by saying, "Oh yeah, I want to just do that" because people think I may be funny. It's still a craft to it, which
right?
I understand,
absolutely,
right? Which I like how you said improv class.
Yeah,
that means you respect it. So I need to go about the right way. So, but there's some things I want to do as far as like acting and doing some kind of comedy roles. I love shows like Seinfeld and Curb Your Enthusiasm. Those are my favorite shows. So I can see myself doing something like that. And so just finding the time to do it. Well, let me not say finding the time to do it. Making the time to do all these things.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's why with the vlogging, I'm learning to, build my muscle as far as the vlogging. Like, okay, you got to record today. Yeah. Or you got to, I know you don't feel like it, but you got to do another video because consistency is key. You don't want to be falling off. You want to keep building for the people. So I'm teaching myself. And the algorithm
going too.
And the algorithm, exactly. So which I'm learning. Yeah. Right. So for me, this is a new space. Mm-hmm. And it's a new space for my my YouTube page. I just converted it. So there were people who know of the rapper. Yeah. And maybe so when a video uploaded, I'm sure they expected to see a new video. Yeah. And it wasn't. It was vlogging. Nice. You know what I mean? And so for them, it's like, now they have to learn a new me. Even Pun watched me go from what I was to what I am now as far as different thing changes in my life. So people still get used to that. I mean, I don't make people feel awkward about it because Pun is still who he is, and Pride, we all clown like we clown. But but even like the little jokes about, you know, church and God and stuff like that, whatever. But for me, that's a respect thing.
Right.
Because the problem is if I call myself a man of God and nobody see it, then that's a problem.
Right.
But the fact that the homies is respecting it because they see a change in me, they notice I'm not doing certain things or whatever, then that means it's an actual change going down.
That means you're wearing it.
That means I'm wearing it.
You're wearing
it.
And
I want to look like, oh, that's the man of God right there.
Right.
Like I want to look like that. But also, I don't want to people to have this idea of like this like buttoned up, can't do nothing now. So that's stuff I'm working on. I got. None of us are perfect.
None of us.
It's a steady walk to try to be better than I was yesterday. Trying to remove myself from a lot of other vices and stuff I got to shed off and tear from the flesh and all that. But
this is what a man of God looks like.
This is what a man of God, because I am a man of God.
This is what, and so that's the thing is the representation.
Yeah, for sure.
The representation and what they expose people to. Just because we're so conditioned, the first thought that they would look at you would not be man of God. Just because that's not what they push. But guess what? Most of the men in our community that are God-fearing men, guess what they look like? Us.
Yep. Look, I got a phone call. I'll tell you off air who, but I got a phone call. This rapper wanted to do a song.
Okay.
Right. So I was surprised because I never even knew the rapper knew me. It's a younger generation, very respected rap artist from another city, not LA. And they want to do a song. And I'm like, man, I'm honored. I said, but you know, what I told him straight up was like, I said, you know, I changed my life. I don't know if you know, because I don't know if you did, but if you rapping about what you was used to be rapping on, I can't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
I respect you.
Right.
I just can't do that. No, that's cool, man. Just I want you to hear it. Just, you know, it's an open verse and everything, whatever. And I said, okay, because I'm still a rapper, but I just, until I'm led to do something, I'm just not jumping on anything.
Yeah.
You know. So I heard the music, you know, he was on what he'd always been on. Yeah. right? You know, and okay, that's what I thought. But, you know, so I hit him, I said, man, first of all, thank you. I'm honored. I didn't even know you knew my music or anything, man. I appreciate that. I said, but I can't do this because of my life has changed now. Yeah. You know, I'm a God-fearing man. I can't do that, you know. And even though the opportunity or the whatever from that could have been a big thing, whatever it was, money, video, promotion, whatever it could have been huge, or let me just say a big thing.
It would have been. It would have been.
It would have been, but for me, it wasn't worth what I was doing. And if I'm this man of God trying to look like I am a man of God, I can't do that.
Be a hypocrite and contradict your whole movement.
I can't do that. I can't. You know, so because it's just certain things, you know, we all most of us come up in the church and we all have a relationship with God. So I understand that, but I'm trying to do a different walk here where I'm shed a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Every day I try not to curse.
Right.
I try not to say the N-word so much. I almost just said it just now again, but I'm sure I said it already in the podcast. But I try not to say it so much. This ain't about me telling everybody else what to do. Just for my own thing, I'm trying to do that. So, you know, I can't.
Self-improvement.
Because I can't speak how I'm speaking and talk to people how I'm talking to people if I'm going to be jumping on the song that's about, we talking about killing and doing all these girls and all this stuff like that. I'm a 44-year-old married, faithful man. Like, that is not my life. My life, I'm so chilling. I'm cool.
Yeah.
Like, I love it here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we want more elevating, more stuff for opportunities for my family. But as far as like the wild stuff, I did all that for 100 people.
Right.
I did enough for 100 men. Yeah. To then did a bunch of the stuff I done did out here in the music industry and in these streets.
You making it right now.
So
you making it right. Like, so I'm moving in the walk.
Exactly. I want to be an example, and I'm working on it daily. I'm working on that daily. So yeah, man, that's my life now.
That is, well, the strength of character right there, right? and your value system. That speaks volumes on your value system, your strength of character to say, I have enough foresight to see that I'm not here for the gifts of right now, or the short-term opportunities of fame, or the glitz and glamour of money. That's not what I'm invested in.
No.
I'm invested in what I'm doing, what I'm giving out, and who I'm helping, what I'm improving.
Absolutely, 100%.
And so that on display, that being said on here for people to hear is what this is about. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because these are the stories. These are the acts of kindness. These are the acts of strength that need to be told.
For sure.
That are told from us that people wouldn't think or wouldn't have the opportunity to just say that dope story.
Yeah. And that's why I appreciate it. That's why I like to do, like, I don't do too many interviews no more because I don't do music. So people don't really call me for talking and things like that.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I got a bunch of stuff to talk about.
But you come here every day if you want to.
You know, I love to talk about, you know, my experiences or what I learned and like how to keep you out of the stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I still have my gripes about the music industry and how it's being looked at and how, you know, the different monsters in it and the things they do to people and things I've heard and, you know, certain things I've seen.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, yeah, I got some stuff to talk about. You know, a lot of us do. You know, a lot of people, I think people are so comfortable in or so afraid of losing something, maybe an opportunity or something they don't even have somewhat. You know what I mean? And everybody ain't on the same walk. I'm not just talking about being a man of God. I mean, just talk about like you said, a man of integrity,
right,
and values. You know what I mean? And for you to move in that kind of way, it's a lot of stuff you ain't gonna deal with, or a lot of stuff you just like it's not worth it. There's no dollar amount you can make me go do this kind of song. There's no dollar amount you can make me go in a room when they doing that kind of stuff, right? So I'm like, nah, you know. So what I try to do is I carve out for myself. I got a vlog now where I can talk about what I want to talk about, or I come potty with Rios and we chop it up and I could talk about what I actually think about something or what's actually going on, you know, or I'll go on a podcast where they allow me to be myself.
Right.
You know, so that's interesting. And it's interesting the reaction is always interesting because it's love. Like the reactions I get is always love. And I'm like, man, when I think people aren't going to know how to take me because of who Bad Lucc was, you know, I'm like, I think I get way more people cheering me on than not.
Because sometimes we underestimate the beauty.
Yeah, for real.
Sometimes we underestimate because we see a lot of ugly. And sometimes we'll underestimate the beauty or the humanity, and people like, nah, we just really appreciate you for you, who you are. That goes to leads me into, with your talent of rapping. Now that I'm older, I look at rapping like, that means you know how to write. Like that's like literature, like writing. Have you let go of rapping, or do you still want to pursue in the different light that you're in or different space that you're in right now?
I do. I remember when I first started going to church, I got baptized and I rededicated my life 2 years ago to Christ, right? And I remember one of the first things my pastor found out I was a rapper. I was introduced to him as a retired rapper.
Okay.
And he was like, retired? Yeah, what do you mean? I said, I'm retired. What do you mean? What do I mean? He's right.
Yeah.
He was like, man, God don't give you gifts for you to not use them.
Right.
You know, and at the time, I was like, I ain't doing this no more.
Right.
Like, I hear you, but I, you know, and what he was trying to say was, one, he said it, God don't give you gifts for you to not use them. Also, you don't have to use that gift in the capacity that you were using them in. You know, so, you know, now whatever that means to you, that's on you. I'm not telling you to rap about this and that. I'm just saying that you don't have to use it in the same capacity. So what's crazy is, so I obviously can still rap, still write, I still rap. You know, I just haven't been led to make nothing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I didn't, now it's getting better now, but to keep it 100, I didn't like gospel rap. And because what I was hearing was just corny.
Right.
Like, and I'm an MC for real. Right. So I was like, look, I'd rather just not rap.
Like, you're not a Christian that became a rapper. Like, I was a rapper. I'm a rapper.
I'm an MC for real. Like, so I didn't want to just be like, I couldn't find the inspiration to even think like, well, is that something I want to do? Because here's the thing. I don't have to rap about, I don't have to be considered a Christian. I'm a Christian, period. So whatever I do I'm a Christian. Yeah. Right. But when they say Christian
banker,
rapper,
Christian investor.
Yeah, whatever I do, I'm Christian, right? But when people hear Christian rapper, they think every song is about God, which rightfully so, right? But there's still a lane outside of that where I'm not rapping about glorifying street life or having sex with a gang of women and all that. And I can talk about my real life. Don't curse. Don't talk about that, glorify the negative stuff, and then it's just rap at that point.
Just rap. And so why do we try to not marginalize, but why do we try to box it in? Yeah. As
people do.
Because that's the only place they do it.
But here's the thing, right? Because I didn't really go into it, but I was like, yeah, I can do that. I can rap about it. Just don't curse and don't, because I'm thinking Christian rap I heard was corny. It was, though. Now, I've heard way more sense, and there's some rappers out there that are incredible that I actually follow also.
Is Lecrae Christian?
Lecrae is a Christian.
Okay.
I'm not sure if he considers himself that, but he's a Christian who is a rapper who does rap about Christ also. Okay. And amongst other things.
Yes.
I can't speak for him, but Bizzle is a Christian rapper who's super dope. One of the new guys I like is named Miles Minnick from the Bay. Okay. Super turned up, super dope. Shout out to him and his whole crew. Child like Cece, who I follow, is a girl. She's smoking. Like her bars and beats and everything is banging because it's modern. But when I say modernize, they didn't modernize the message. Don't modernize the message. The message is the message.
The message is the message.
Yeah, if you got skills to rap that, then do that.
Exactly.
But don't modernize it like try to change scripture. Once you start doing that, then we playing
with God.
We out. So anyway, so I found my inspiration in hearing these people and stuff like that, and then what people don't know is that I got a call. I ain't rapped in years, right? I'm writing to myself and stuff like that, but I got a call earlier this year from my good brother Warren Campbell. Shout out to Warren Campbell. Okay. To do a record with Tina Campbell, Mary.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And I met Tina. She's an amazing woman. And Tina, that's a whole nother story in itself where Tina and her testimony and her husband, things they were going through is what saved me and my relationship and the reason why I got married. And we can definitely go into that too if you.
I definitely want to go into that. I definitely do.
Did that, but I told her I had the opportunity when I met her. First of all, she's a sweetheart. And I love her and her husband Teddy. And I told her like, yo, you saved my marriage. And I gave her the whole story. She was blown away. And we got to do a record. They loved the record. And it's going to be on her next album, I think this year. So God was like, I got you.
I got you. You looking for a way? I'm going to find a way. I got the way
for you to do it. And he led me into that position. Used Warren, used Tina. And thank God they were obedient. And thank God I didn't tuck my tail when it came to doing it. Right. And I just did my thing. And they loved it. I loved the record. They love. After this, I'll play it for you.
Because he will use his vessels. He will 100%. Use it. He as a beacons of light to guide his babies, to guide his people.
Hands down, because he can use anybody.
He can use anybody.
You know what I'm saying? So, and he guided me that way, and I did a record, and it's an amazing record, and I'm proud of it, and I can't wait for the world to hear it.
I can't wait.
Yeah, God's amazing, man. So, however, and with the rapping thing, it's like if the song or if the song strikes for me to do it, I'll do it.
Okay.
I'm not against. People just think I don't rap. It's not that I don't rap. I'm just trying to find my way in this world of how all y'all be rapping.
Right.
You know
right.
So that's my only thing,
I can only imagine you in your element, in your flow, in your pocket, rapping the way you want to rap with the freedom of, like, I want to hear it already. You know what I mean? Like, man. Because like you said, you're an MC. Your wordplay, your how you rap was head above everybody else.
Thank
you know what I mean? And it was just and people knew Luck. And then when they heard, oh, that's Luck. You know what I mean?
Man.
Like you could tell who you were. It wasn't like a guess, like, who was that?
and that was respect, man. I enjoy when I get love and people when I see people out here in the streets or I meet people and people like, yo, you were dope and you this and you that. Man, I'm talking about everywhere from in the streets to the pen to whatever. People like, yo, I was bang. You don't understand how what this song mean to me. This song, whatever. People tag me and even nowadays, people tag me in songs and all that. And this song mean this to me and this song. And it's for me, it's like, wow, like that's dope because we used to because for me that's success.
Right.
But people would there's other people gauge of success may be millions of dollars or it may be a Grammy or hit records. But for me, if it's people to show me love and say they play my records,
impact.
My nephew, who is 20 years old, 21 this year, he's a running back for UCLA.
Oh, really?
TJ Harden. He's a running back for UCLA. Shit. Yeah, that's my nephew. Same last name. TJ Harden. So he plays my song, my Outchat mixtape. He plays it before every game. I didn't even know that until he told me. He's like, man, he told me one day, he's like, man, I told you I play your records. And we went to, I went to go see his first game. It was in Hawaii when they played Hawaii. And
he's in Big 12 now.
Yeah, it's in Big 12 now, right? So he walked off the bus. He showed me playing Outchat. He playing my mixtape. And I'm like, that's crazy for him to be that young and identify with something that gets him in the mood for football.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's crazy.
To tell
you know what I mean? You know, so I'm honored when people tell me that. People say, yo, you're dope or you're good or man, look, you need to rap again. I'm honored when people say any of these things because I loved it. I love the sport of rap. And, you know, I feel like the business almost ruined it. You know what I mean? But I do love the art of rap.
Okay. That's something amazing to be able to look on and be like, damn, I had this impact. Or I'm still having this impact.
Sure. Yeah.
Not I did.
Yeah.
I have this impact through what God said is the power of the tongue, what is the word of the mouth. And your nephew being able to use that to propel him forward in football and use that as fuel and to have him be successful in something that's putting him through college, getting an education and building his future for his family.
For sure.
And he's using you to help him along the way.
It's amazing. It's amazing when you think about it like that.
That touches you like that's.
It's amazing when you think about it like that, bro. My nephew is a youngin'. Like, you know, I'm an old uncle. I'm the older uncle. You know what I mean? But they pay attention and he likes it. He don't have to listen to that. It's a bunch of people he can listen to that's his age range, more modern. You know, you got to dig back to get my stuff and be, you know what I mean? But the fact that he's young and, you know, can love that and that hypes him up for football.
And he's proud of you.
And he's proud of me. That's what it means also. Why I'm simultaneously proud of him for being a running back for UCLA. First of all, going to UCLA, being a running back, doing an awesome job. He's an A and B student.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's on a full scholarship. He's an incredible kid, you know, and this is last year. So, you know, I'm like proud of him because for me, I'm like, I'm going to lose it and pass out the day he gets drafted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? you know what I mean?
Man.
You know,
TJ, what you listen to? Oh, my uncle.
Crazy. That's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
TJ, what you listen to? My uncle
crazy, bro. Crazy.
That's tight.
Yeah.
So let's because I want to touch on what you were saying about Tina, Mary, how that helped you and your wife or saved your marriage. Let's talk about that.
So, okay, I've told the story before, and it's first I want to say, before I ever told the story ever, I talked to my wife, and my wife gave me the okay to tell the story.
Okay.
And the reason I asked that because I don't ever want to just tell my business, me and her business without talking to my wife about it.
Very commendable right there.
She gave me the okay to tell it because she understands the greatest purpose, and this is a part of the testimony.
Yeah.
Right. So, before I got married to my wife, we're going on 3 years next year. Before I got married to my wife, we were together. First of all, me and my wife been together for almost 14 years.
Okay.
Right. Very long time. And maybe 5 years ago, I think maybe 5 years ago, I got caught cheating.
Okay.
Right. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
It was I was a FN. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So And I was for many years living a rap life, touring, all the things you can do with that. I did all the things you can do with that. So she just never knew none of it because, whether you think you were very good at it, whatever.
Trying to protect the household.
Whatever you think is just whatever. But you was being a no good nigga. That's what I was.
Right.
And I got caught. One day, I woke up and she was just sitting up in bed staring at me. And the first thing she said was, I'm only saying this for the guys I'm only saying this because this is actually what she said.
Yeah.
Just letting the viewers know. That she looked at me and she said, you ain't shit.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, when I talk about, I've never felt lower in my life.
Right. Oh,
it felt like I was crushed.
Right.
And because I really wasn't shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You ever felt like you actually being seen?
Oh, yeah. Exposed.
I was exposed. Like I was seen for the first time in my relationship by a woman I love
to death.
Dearly. I love to death. And the viewer may not understand me, how you gonna cheat and say that.
Yeah.
They don't understand that. I'm not saying it, you should be doing that. I'm just saying it's possible.
But we all have our imperfections and our mistakes that we make in life.
And I made a ton of them. And she found out everything. You know what I mean? So I all on the phone, text messages, DMs, all kind of stuff. Everything. So she left the house. This is I think it was like late at night. So she left the house. And so the only thing now mind you, at this time I'm not a Christian. I was born a Christian, raised a Christian, but when I got to around high school, a little bit after high school, getting into rapping, I started venturing out and looking up other systems, spirituality and stuff like that. And I got far away from Jesus because I wasn't even rolling.
Okay.
Right. So at this time, I wasn't that far away, but I wasn't praying to Jesus either. Mm-hmm. So I just wasn't a Christian.
Yeah.
First thing I did was pray she didn't leave me. Right. Which was a sign. Who are you praying to? First of all, pray she didn't leave me. And I knew in that moment also that if she does not leave me, she'll never look at me like that again. It'll never happen. And I'm not talking about the whole DJ Quick tonight's the night verse. I'm not never drinking again. I'm talking about if she happened to just forgive me, this will never happen again. Like I felt it in my soul immediately. And I asked her, I said, do you want me to leave? She said, no, I'll leave. Right. And she left. And then she came back the next day. And I remember, I'm not sure if this was the next day or 2 days later, I'm not sure, but she was in the kitchen and I heard her call me. She said, babe. And that was maybe the first sign of like light a little bit.
Babe.
In fact, she called me babe.
Yeah.
And I came in the kitchen, I said, yes. She was like, she said, I forgive you. Mm-hmm. But it can't happen again. But it can't happen again says so much behind it, like, nigga.
It's a wrap.
It's like in real life. Like you'll never see me again.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? But I knew though already that just something she's never gonna worry about. But I also knew that now I have to rebuild trust forever, maybe.
Right.
But I did this to myself. I'm ready for the ride. You know what I mean?
Forgive does not mean forget.
It does not mean that. So we just gotta, So here's the thing. Here come Rich with Tina and Teddy come in.
Okay.
So, I called a couple of friends. I remember I called two of my friends. Love them to death. My homegirl Debbie Dev, and I called my homegirl Nadia, and because they love Debbie, they love my wife, and they know that how much she means to me, and I was just stupid, right? So after they called me stupid, both of them, like you dummy, idiot, all the things they said. I said I don't know what to do, and I just don't know. I gotta figure it out. So here's the thing. So a couple of years prior to that, me and my wife, we were watching Mary Mary's reality show.
Oh, they did have a reality show. That's right.
And I think it was called Mary Mary. And on that reality show, Teddy had got caught cheating. Technically on air. I don't mean like he got caught cheating on air, but while they were shooting,
brought it up and it was being discussed.
It all came out. called cheating. And Tina she went off. Like, she wasn't having it. Sent her through the ringer. You know, that's her husband, and that ain't what you do. And, you know, and Teddy was messed up. You know what I mean? Found out it was, I forgot who it was, but it don't even matter. But he cheated. And probably cheated multiple times or something like that, whatever. And it was bad. It was bad. This is what Teddy did. This is what happened. So, first of all, not only did she think about divorcing them, killing them, all the things, right? All the things.
The whole
thing, and I'm laughing, but at the time it's not funny for them.
Right.
But all the things that women think about when, you know, you cheat, all
real.
the things she thought about. Very real. Because at that moment, even though they're godly people, you flash out. You black out, you don't even think about that at that time.
Human.
It's a human. So she didn't leave him. They were separated for a little while, like he was not at the house and all that, you know how it go. And so Teddy, I think once they kind of, once they were like trying to work on something, Teddy had a conversation with Warren, and this is what saved me.
Who is Warren? No,
Warren Campbell is his name Baby Dub. He does produce he did Carl Thomas Summer Rain. Okay. He did all the Mary stuff.
Dope producer then.
He's incredible. He's the Grammys, all the things.
Okay.
Right. So Warren, he's talking to Warren Campbell. He said, which they're like brothers. He said, yo, I think I'm gonna tell my wife everything. Right. And Warren was like, wait, what? He said, no, I need to tell her everything. Like, I need to tell her all the stuff she don't know. So me and Warren, I'm the viewer and Warren, we both thought it was stupid. Right? We thought that was insane. That was crazy.
He was like, I'm ready to confess.
But he was like, look, that's done. Right? So what I don't need to happen is nothing else to ever pop up. So if I'm to start from a fresh, clean slate, she needs to know everything. Because if I omit stuff, I still like this liar. I'm
likely
still this
for
liar.
That to come up again also.
Like, for sure. And it just puts you back in a dark place. And he told her, everything. So I remember being on the phone with Debbie, and I said, you know what? I know what I got to do, you know, because for some reason, man, that's the only thing I thought of. Talking to him, I was like, I got to do that.
Right.
Now, mind you, think that's going to kill you. That's not a good thing.
It's going to be heavy.
Heartbreak. It's heavy because I know how much stuff it is too.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm talking about two girls. I'm talking about like on the road, tour, and in and out of town, being over at studio, late night studio.
Let me show you who I was.
Let me show you who I was.
I have to be clean about this and come all the way.
I got to strip all the clothes off, and I got to give you 100% who I am. All the ugly.
All the ugly.
I tell you all the ugly, and I got to tell you all the ugly in one setting.
Right.
While you're trying to deal with heartbreak that I just did to you. You're not over it. You in it. This is the beginning of it. You're not even over it. This is the beginning of, I could hate you. It could be that, but I don't. But so now I'm about to come with this.
That you know that first wave of emotion, babe, here comes the tsunami.
Here comes tsunami. Literally, here's the tsunami. And I remember I sat her down and I told her, you know, everything. Tour, out of the country, Canada, touring, being on the road, at many nights in the studio.
Yeah, drop the bomb.
All the names, confirmed names that she knew I lied about.
Yeah.
Bunch of times, a bunch of that, confirming names. And then the last straw that could have killed her and killing me to even say it, was one girl she knew and I lied about for the longest.
Okay.
And I even lied then.
That was the one that was the trust was going to be hard to come back from.
Yeah, so you're scared. The one you don't want to be like, right. I'm not going to mention the one.
Yeah.
I'll mention 20, not the one.
Exactly.
Not like the number was 20, first of all. Let me get that right. But
in comparison, in balance, like this one
is the one that's going to rock the whole thing.
Yeah.
But she asked me in that setting, what about, and I lied still, even then.
Oh.
I lied. But then I came back home. I went out, nope, that's not going to work. And I came back home and was like, no, yeah, her too.
So when you went out, was that weighing on you? As you're out that, like, I did not do it the way I said I was going to do it.
Because you ain't shit.
You ain't shit. And you can see her.
I can see it because you ain't shit, nigga. You said you going to keep it real, and you came in here and did a half-ass job.
You did some ain't shit nigga shit.
You did some ain't shit nigga shit. You still look for a bailout.
Right.
Though you trying to keep it real and trying to clean your slate, you looking for a bailout. Right. You look for a loophole, and she asked you and you lied. So you found one.
Trying to escape out.
That's great, but that ain't who. But you just said you're gonna be a real nigga.
Yeah.
You just said this is a new you. That's the old you just did that.
Right.
Turn right back around.
So you having this battle inside. You are having inner turmoil.
Dude, I don't even deserve none of it.
Ooh.
That's the thing. So I'm fighting something I don't even deserve.
Right.
She deserved to leave me. I deserve to never talk to her again. I deserve to not ever be married to her right now because she had all the right to do away with it all.
Right.
Because I was a sucker.
Right.
That's why.
Right.
You know, and even to the last minute when I'm supposedly cleaning my slate, showing her a brand new me, and I'm going to build trust and all that, I did the same sucker shit again. Right. So in a car, and I'm dealing with myself now at this point. Like, oh, you a bitch ass nigga.
Right.
And I hate to cuss like that. This is what I was.
Yes.
This is literally
this
what
is
I was
an honest story right here.
It's an honest story of what I told myself. Like, oh yeah, you a bitch ass nigga too. Yeah. You know, you're a sucker. You know what I mean?
You ain't who you said you are. You ain't who you think you are. You think you real, but you ain't being real.
So this is the first time I'm actually living. I'm actually sitting in my own shit.
Yeah.
Instead of being sneaky before, where nobody knew, so I didn't have to deal with the accountability of it. Mm-hmm. Now I'm sitting in it.
Right.
It don't feel good. You know what I mean? So the whole time I'm like, oh nigga, you don't feel good. Like nigga, you don't feel good?
Right. Damn.
You see what I'm saying?
Ooh, that's
like
deep.
So. Turn back around. Her too. Floored. She was floored, bro. She was floored. And she didn't leave me. But I also.
Oh, man.
She leave me. She was, now, you asked today. Well, you'll meet her. You can ask her yourself. Now, it killed her at the moment, but she also respected it because I didn't have to do that. Mm-hmm. And it was a clean slate.
Because she had already took it. She took you back. You didn't have to come with this because...
I didn't have to do that. So now you playing with me.
Yeah.
If you lie again.
Yeah.
And if that come up again, then what's that say about you? You know what I mean? Like even in the midst of my forgiveness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like so, and then that started me off to be like a clean slate. Now the way I am, the way we've been, the whole that's what I was 5 years ago. The way we've been. There's no doubts. The crazy part is I keep trying to give her my phone call. She keep forgetting it.
Yeah.
She got my phone call. There ain't no hide, no nothing. She like, now she said, now that you the way you are, I don't even want it.
Right.
And I'm like, well, I mean, it's there. You have it. Like, I don't do no phone games. I don't do no face down. And there ain't a woman in the world can say nothing. No DMs, no crazy text messages on the low. And the reason why I talk like loud like this on platforms and publicly, because there ain't a woman nowhere can say nothing. Flirted, DM, he was looking at me crazy. Yo, man, I think your man kinda, none of it.
You comfortable and confident in your walk.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
That's why, because it's a fact. And that's how I move. And I'm attracted to women. I don't desire any other women.
Okay.
I'm not a liar. I'm a man, right?
Yeah,
but I don't desire women. You know what I mean? And my wife knows that. So she knows that I only move to the beat of her drum.
Right.
That's it. You know, but that only happened because I had to clean my slate because Tina and Teddy, sorry.
Yeah.
And so now when I met Tina, we did the whole session. You know, she loved the song. It was super dope. Vibe was a dope, man. She's so godly and she's so super cool and so honest and vulnerable. We had a great time just in the studio working. And before she left, I said, Tina, now I got to tell you something. I said, you and your husband, you said, you don't know, but me and my wife used to watch y'all show, Mary show. Mm-hmm. I said, you and your husband, what y'all went through, I said, that saved my marriage. That saved my life. I said, I wasn't married then, but that saved my relationship.
Yeah.
And she said, what? And she sat down. I told her the whole story I just told you.
Yeah.
That whole story. Couldn't believe it. Called her husband on the spot.
Yeah.
And just told him that that happened and whatever. And just a blessing. And I told her, I said, though you may have been embarrassed, because she said she was on when she did the show. embarrassed, you went through that and hurt and dealing with heartache. I said, the reason why it happened then and on air, because for people like me. Who was going through our stuff. And and back to our original
I was just thinking
about the things you put out there and the things you speak.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You can help or hurt somebody. You know what I mean? What you decide to put out there can help or hurt somebody. So it's about what you want to do.
And you can't only put your successes out there.
You can't.
You have to put the whole trial and tribulation.
You should. But people thinking, look, what you and your wife talk about privately is your business. But when it comes to like testimonial stuff, stuff that can help people get their lives better, learn something, be better at improving themselves, that stuff should be allowed to speak under the guise of you and your mate has an understanding.
Right.
Don't ever just say nothing crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
You ain't talk to your wife or your husband about whoever with who. You know what I mean? But I had that conversation with my wife. So I know when I go to a platform, I already got the green light to be like, yes, this happened because this is my testimony.
Right.
Because I don't worry about the whole people saying once a cheater, always a cheater, or no, yo nigga a dog, or even I'm sure my wife has heard it. Like, oh girl, you stupid. You stay with that. He did what?
Mm-hmm.
You crazy, whatever. Look, man, I'm married. I'm sick in love with my wife.
Right.
Like, and she's sick in love with me. Like, so that's not nothing we worry about. You know what I mean? And we good. So I don't let the social media drive my relationship. You know what I mean? Everything's a learning experience, and I'm going to speak my testimony because I believe it can help. Just like people's testimony helped me,
right? And
all the time.
That's that representation, being exposed to something that you didn't know even exist, or or what the tools were. How did they do this? You have to have that representation. And me and my wife, we've been together 16 years, married 14.
Congrats.
Thank you. But we've had our ups and downs because of my trauma.
For sure.
Like me, with the monster I was, the monster that I brought into marriage. Yeah, I was in love with her. Yeah, you are everything to me. But guess what? That doesn't change this monster that's in here with all this damage and all these scars and open wounds that haven't been dealt with, that I don't even know exist. And so my trauma, my monster, my ugly would hurt my wife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because my wife had no trauma. You know what I mean? I was, and that's the other thing, laying next to your trauma.
Yeah. Oh, that's deep.
Laying next to the only trauma you've had.
Laying next to your trauma is crazy.
And I have to deal with looking at my wife as looking at her like, damn, I'm your trauma.
That sounds like that's crazy. First of all, that was fire. And I mean fire from like, first of all, it's a word. Because laying next to your trauma.
Laying next to your trauma. And she's laying next to her trauma. I'm dealing with my trauma from the past, but guess what? I'm not laying with that shit.
Yeah.
I'm not laying with the predator or the monster or the trauma that fucked me up.
Yeah,
she's laying with it. You know what I mean? And waking up to it, going to sleep to it. Woo. And so, and the most hurtful part of that shit is seeing that that glow of how they look at you leave.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain that shit.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, I can't speak for your wife, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
My wife told me, I asked her why. Why did you forgive me?
Mm-hmm.
She said, she told me then. She said, I believe that's not you.
Mm.
She said, I know that's not you.
Mm.
But basically, she was like, get it together.
Get together. Be the better you.
She saw the core of me.
Yeah.
Was a good dude. You got to stop this BS.
Right.
Because it ain't worth nothing.
It's not worth it.
It don't even mean nothing to you.
Nothing.
You just being a horny, stupid boy.
Because you're done. Right after that, you're like...
Bro, she's talking... Here's the thing. That's the laying next to trauma is fire. Look, she is looking at a grown man who's not acting grown because what she's talking to is a horny little boy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Who has no sexual discipline.
Right. That's no sexual discipline.
That's it. And she thought to look past that because she's the core of who I am and what I'm supposed to be.
Right.
And she gave me one more chance to be it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? One more chance. Get to it, because I won't be here I won't talk to him again.
Right.
I'm not talking to the young horny boy again.
Right.
It's not happening. You know what I mean? So your wife is the same thing.
Same thing.
Because they be knowing.
Yeah.
They know. They know. Here's the thing about lying next to your trauma. Sometimes they fight that she know I'm not the best version of who I am.
Yeah.
Right? But man, like, I'm trying to wait for it. But I don't have that many times. I don't have that much time. I can't wait too much longer.
Right.
Because you can't keep killing me.
Right.
Like, you can't, it's like you said, you laying next to my trauma. I wish that you deal with that. I want you to really deal with that. Because nigga, you don't even know who you can be.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's wild.
So look,
wow.
Let's take it to another level. Like, she's laying and living with her trauma as it's sleeping in the bed next to her, as she's giving grace to her trauma's trauma.
That's okay, Rio. I see right now. I should have brought my Bible. I see right now.
She's giving grace.
I didn't know it was Pastor Ace with Rios.
Dude, she's giving grace to her trauma's trauma.
Yo.
Dude, that's how dope my wife is.
Yo.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it gives me chills and I get emotional, but she did that.
See, stuff like that is why I sat back and you start to feel like, oh yeah, I don't deserve you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
When you start looking at her like that, you just like, yeah, yep, I don't deserve you. I don't. Now, I'm glad I changed. I'm glad I'm a man of God, moving on to better things. I'm a loyal man. I'm respecting you. I'm doing the things I'm supposed to do as a man. I'm glad I finally got here. Thank God you showed me the grace.
Thank God.
Because you could have been out.
You could have been out. You could be out.
I did not deserve you.
Did not.
The man who I was. And here's the thing. For the first time, like once you dealt with you, once I dealt with me, after all these years, it's like, okay, now they're getting 100% of you.
Right.
Like, it's so messed up.
Now you're getting what you saw in me.
Now you're getting what you saw.
Now you're getting what you saw.
Which is beautiful. I hate that I had to drag her through so much, though.
Through so much. And I had to hit my head against the wall and drag against the ground and do this to become who I am now as a man.
This version of you.
This version of me. Dude, and it's deep because at many times we are only as strong because of their strength to deal with us. We're only as strong as we are today because of their strength to deal with the weak us. Right?
Yes. Absolutely. That's what I'm sitting here in Florida. I didn't say that, but I'm sitting here like, God.
Like, we're only as strong as we are today because their strength to deal with the weak version of us.
Bruh, when it happened, being caught and all that stuff like that. Dude, when she said, you ain't shit. Dude, I've never felt so small. Like, I never felt so unimportant to everything.
Right.
Like I was weightless.
Yeah.
I'm a big nigga. But I felt like I felt like I was weightless. I felt unimportant, small, insignificant.
Why the whole universe is looking at you.
Because of who it was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because who would do her like that? Who like
let me tell you.
Crazy.
So my wife caught me, right? So we separated and she caught me cold. Like I admitted, like, yeah, this and that. We had a separation in our marriage. And I'm at work trying to figure out how to manipulate my way back. Like how do I manipulate?
That's crazy how we be thinking.
Like how do I manipulate? How do I come back?
No, manipulate. Yeah.
Manipulate.
For sure. Yeah.
Manipulate my way back into the house, back into her life. And I call her and she's like, I was like, calling just to call, like, oh, what? Checking the temperature. You know, just temperature checking. Not even really calling to be like,
right.
I love you, how you doing, what's going on. I just want to see where can I fit in? Where's the gap? Where's the path of least resistance?
Yeah, for sure.
And so she's like, oh,
trying to
nothing.
Find the back door, trying to find a little unlocked gate.
Right.
Or something like, yeah.
What can I use? And so she's on the phone. She's here with her best friend, Carmen. My sister, love her to death.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "Oh, nothing. I'm here watching Lemonade." And I was like, I had no idea what Lemonade is.
Yeah, you don't know you been.
And this is happening this is happening why.
Right.
We're in the thick of it.
Wow.
And so she's like, Lemonade. I was like, what's Lemonade? She's like, don't worry.
You don't want to
Don't worry about what Lemonade is. And she like quoted something from it. And I was like, I don't know.
Beyonce was talking to him.
Talking to her specifically.
Right.
Like to my wife at the time. And so then I like figure out like get around. I was like, what is Lemonade? And she was like, oh, it's Beyonce's album where she's talking about such and such cheating and being here with my brother. And my brother was giving me shit like my little brother, like, yeah, you need to get your stuff together. So we started watching She didn't tell me really. We started watching it together.
Oh, wow.
While I'm visiting in my own house.
Yeah.
And we're watching it. And there was
uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable, but it really woke me up because I never looked at myself like an ugly person.
Oh, okay.
I always gave myself excuses like, oh, this is this. Oh, because of this is that. Because
so that was eye-opener for you.
It was an eye-opener to expose my ugly.
Yeah.
Because I never looked at it like ugly. I was like, oh, I was raised where sex wasn't like that important. It wasn't on a pedestal. It was this and that. Like, we didn't really value it.
Bro.
And I was using that. But then Beyonce said something in her song. She said, what a wicked way to treat the woman who loves you. And when I put myself in the light of wicked, because I've never looked at myself as wicked. I've never looked at myself as evil or bad. I always just thought of like, oh, these are some habits I need to break or this and that. She said, what a wicked way to treat the woman who loves you.
You almost tried to therapize your own trauma in a sense, or use that as a backing. Oh no, I messed up, or no, my trauma. You know,
that's how I was raised, and this and that. We didn't value this.
Crazy is what you said. Sound like because I used to tape. Oh, I was raised on the East Side, so we looked at sex different, and so, all these things we tell ourselves when you look. All things we tell ourselves we out here doing BS. We out here doing BS. We tell ourselves all these things.
It's a crutch.
That's insane. And so that's the key, right? It's like wicked. You felt like, oh, I'm lower than scum.
I'm evil. I'm dirty. Yeah. I'm ugly. I'm an ugly person. And it took that from Beyonce for us to be going through what we were going through, but for her to say, and she was saying, you're treating the woman that loves you the most, that treats you the best. What a wicked way. Like, how wicked of you to be this way to the woman that's putting her life on the line for you.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it 100. I didn't think this podcast was going to go this way. Mind you, I'm very comfortable and I'm very like, this is dope. But I did not think this. I'm like, me and Rio about to be clowning. We about to be, but what?
Yeah.
That's, wow.
And it made me look at myself in a different way because she also hit me with a bar I've said multiple times on live where I was always comparing myself to my upbringing or comparing myself to how my dad was or how uncles or cousins were. Like, well,
try to lean on that.
Well, I'm better than what my father was. I'm here and I'm this. I'm a better husband than this. And she took it for a while. And I think she was taking it for a while, like knowing what she was thinking. But one day she hit me. She was like, how long are you going to be comfortable comparing yourself to shit? That little lady who just walked out of here. She said, how long are you going to be comfortable comparing yourself to shit? Because guess what? I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. I'm not wasting my time with somebody that their barometer, their measuring curve is shit.
Just waiting for you to hurry up and get to the better version of you.
Get to the better version of you.
Hurry up.
Because guess what?
Wow. Because I can't continue doing this.
I can't continue doing this. I can't listen to this bullshit.
And the cold part is you sit back and you just like, because you don't deserve it. You don't deserve that.
You don't deserve this angel.
And when you start to look at yourself as the quote unquote wicked one, you just like, no. You also, okay, it's like you love her so much. And she's such a beautiful, precious thing that you don't want that person to look at you that kind of way. And I'm like, no, I can't be. I gotta change. I cannot be like this, because not only does she not deserve it, she's special. She's different. She's not like anything else I've ever experienced.
Exactly.
What am I doing?
What am I doing?
And what am I doing? When you think about who you've been doing, like, what am I doing?
Am I really? Do I have only half a brain going right now? Like, what happened?
I'm about to risk it all
for risk what? All of this that I've built with this beautiful woman.
Crazy
for this. That's I'm not crazy. Trying to call anybody.
No, but just like, the act of like being stupid, being a young horny boy, and not being sexually disciplined and just being out there and being a manipulator. Man. That's sexual discipline. People don't understand how important that is. You cannot just be out here living like that. You can't. And for a long time I was. And thank God I didn't get no crazy diseases and no crazy stuff like that, whatever. But man, it could have been bad. Out here just doing stuff. Out here you could have just random babies all over the place and diseases and just baby mama stuff all over. It could be all bad. And thank God, that she had the grace. You know what I mean? To see the better version of you, and thank God for helping me get to the better version of myself, so I can be the man I need to be for her.
Because easily could have been like, let me get this wicked trauma out my bed.
Here's the thing too. So my parents been married. Excuse me. My parents been married the majority of all my life. My parents been married all my life.
Okay.
And with my mom, they both 79 and 77, something like that.
Okay.
No, 80 something, and you forget your parents' age, but they're married for that long. So being married that long, you experience so much,
right?
Like when I talk about like some of my parents' stuff, and I look back and I'll be like, oh, I ain't been through nothing. Like, not to be dismissive of the stuff I've been through, especially with me and my wife.
Not to minimize it, but
you just look at like, once you get 40, 50 years into something, you want to talk about ups and downs.
That's crazy.
You want to talk about like, how do you maintain like what God intended y'all to do? Like, it gets tough. It gets tough.
Because you get to see the change of somebody. 40, 50 years is somebody's growing.
So I'm glad you brought that up. I was just having a conversation with some friends, and that's an ill conversation. It's a real.
Zaya, turn your phone down, baby. I can hear you on the microphone, Stinky. We're doing the interview. We can hear you, Stinky. Turn your phone down. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. That's an interesting topic of conversation, because talk about how your wife and you are constantly growing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they say, it's one of the reasons why marriage requires so much work.
Okay.
It's because, the woman you are married to today isn't the woman you married yesterday.
Right.
You definitely ain't the man you were yesterday.
Right.
Right. So, and the woman, your wife tomorrow is a very chance she might be different
than she is today.
She will be different than she is today. So it's constantly learning and unlearning another person.
Right.
Right. That you are side by side with, vowed under God to be with. Right. So it's like managing that. I don't mean like a job. I just mean like, think about it. When we go into marriage, me and my friends just talked about this. We go into marriage. I married the 2021 version of my wife.
Right.
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 That version was I married what I was looking at and dealing with right in front of me.
It's had 10 software updates.
That right? Since then. Right? It's a bunch of new stuff. Right? It's a bunch of new stuff. And I'm still learning it. And think about it, it's like the iPhone. Bunch of stuff I haven't even used yet.
Right.
It's like I don't even know how to deal with this thing. What's this one problem here? What you complain about what? Or what do this or do, and not all complaints. I just mean like, there's stuff that's happening every day. Mood changes, things happen that you get by, like you said, 10 software changes.
Yeah.
That means you got to relearn. I'm relearning my iPhone every time they do an update.
Yeah.
I got to learn all the new things.
And you may have to re-upload something in your software to even do that.
Now you got to take a plug-in, right? Now you got to deal with your plugins to even adjust to this.
Oh, shoot, I don't have that app. Let me download.
Right. I got to get this, right? So, dude, it's real.
Yeah.
It is real. And every day you're learning about somebody constantly. Because it's like, yes, you know your wife today on back.
Right.
You know, I know a ton of stuff about your wife. Family, origin, history, life as a child, as a teen, high school, and all this stuff like that. But tomorrow, you don't know her.
You don't know her.
You don't, and there's the software updates that naturally happen, right? They come with growth and birthdays, right?
Exactly.
But then there's life moments, right? Grief, where you deal with something, a loss of a friend or loss of something, right? That's a different person. There's a person who may lose a job or get promoted. Two different versions of a person.
Get sick.
Right? Get sick. Now you got to deal with, injury.
Mm-hmm.
All these things are like versions of you learning your partner. And so when God says, people understand, when God says, till death do us part, these are things he already accounted for.
Right. Because he knows what's about to happen.
Because we just think, oh no, we're going to be together. They say we're supposed to be together to the end. Yeah, but your idea that is the version of when you got married.
You're going to be with that to the end.
That to the end. No, that's not what you're going to be with to the end. It's not. And can you endure through 40 software changes?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Are you
40
prepared
updates.
For that?
Are you prepared for that? And
are you thinking about going back to your Galaxy?
Or you think about that? Do you want to go? And here's the thing, right? When you play outside of that, that's what you end up doing. You playing with the old phone, outdated system.
Outdated system that you're familiar with.
That you're familiar.
Woo!
Hey, what? Every day, and see, like, so it's a couple ways you look at that, right? It's first of all, it's a reality. It's happening regardless,
right?
No matter what. But also it's a learning experience.
Yeah. I still have a ton of work. I still have a ton of work to do. And guess what? I say I have a ton of work to do, and I'm the best version I've ever been.
That's crazy, right? The reality of that. I'm the best version of me I've ever been, and I still got a ton of work.
Ton of work to do. But guess what? That baby, my baby who just walked in here, my Zaya, my wife who just left, they're worth every ounce, every bit of pain that it takes to grow to that next level. They're worth it. And I know I have to get there.
And see, that's a whole nother. And I forgot. I was just dealing with 2 people changing. Now there's kids.
Oh, yeah.
Kids that's another, you know what I mean? These are extra additives, updates, and apps. Yeah. Download and upload to add to. Stuff happens there.
You saw how she looked at me.
Yeah, right. It's a different.
Can you be quiet a little bit?
It's a different thing, right? You got to adjust.
Right.
See, I got a son. You have daughters.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I have one daughter, 2 sons.
You got 2 sons, right? Mm-hmm. So, but what I'm saying is, good. So now you know the difference between everybody.
Right.
When you have boys, how you are with them, and then how a daughter, sometimes you have us wrapped around our fingers.
Wrapped.
Right? So it's like, now you adjust there. And then you adjust to how you are in the world. Yeah. Right? So my wife, I'm a bonus dad. Mm-hmm. When I got with my wife, he was 5.
Okay.
Right, he's 20 now. He just turned 20 this year.
My wife is a bonus mom with my older son.
Oh no, okay.
He was 2 years old. Okay,
for sure. So that's adjusted too. Yeah. Right. I came in. Okay. I'm okay. I got to learn how to be a father.
Yeah.
Right. Or a father figure. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
His dad is present and doing his thing, but I have to be a father figure in the house.
Yeah.
And that's a learning experience. And okay, there's an adjustment there that has to happen. And then me and my wife get into things. There's another adjustment. And then the dynamics of y'all relationship and then me. Mm-hmm. That's another adjustment. And then, we're all growing. Oh, he's a young adult now.
Right.
Who has a lady with her own stuff and she has a house and we had the sex conversation already and we talk about religion and Christ in his life and all these things are new stuff. Or every time he leaves the house, I now know what it feels like when you worry about your kids in the streets.
Yeah.
Because my son ain't a street dude. He don't be in the streets. But just the fact you went outside somewhere and I don't know where you at,
And you got that?
That right there. So that now you're just in that. So that's ill when you think about that. The dynamics of just growth, dealing with people and change, and our wives changing and we're changing daily. I know stuff. I get on my wife's nerves with how I am sometimes about a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a growth thing. It's like, well, there's something else I gotta learn.
This is what we signed up for.
Yeah.
And knowing what you like, I didn't know what I signed up for.
That's what it is.
I didn't know.
You didn't know.
I didn't know.
You didn't know.
And now you have joined families, this mother, this, and their relationships, and all that stuff. Like, I really wasn't thinking about that. But now that I know how hard it is and how difficult it is, I would marry her 10 times again.
Now, see, that's the beauty in it, right? Because, even when you look back at all the hard work, ups and downs, sad moments, beautiful moments, I wouldn't trade it for nothing.
Nothing.
Not 1 second of it.
Because I know when I leave this household or when I come back, I know there is a rock in here that is immovable with her faith, with who she is as a person. I know. I have no doubt in who this person is.
For sure. And people don't understand that part, right? About having that kind of like foundation at the house, where no matter what I'm out here working, trying to provide, trying to get stuff. My family's always on my mind on how to do better so I can be better for them.
Yeah.
And better versions of myself for them. But it makes it that much easier knowing they're there.
Right.
Knowing that I'm not out here, man, being who I was.
Working my fingers to the bone.
Yeah. Or just playing.
Yeah.
Out here in these streets.
Woo-hoo.
Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
When, I'm like, nah, what I got at the house.
Right.
And none of it's worth it. None of it.
None
of it. I remember, look, when I used to work my old job, I used to work at a law firm downtown. And I had one of my partners in there was a paralegal. Name was Stuart Allister. I'll never forget. He was one of the few black dudes that in the whole building, first of all, but he was super cool. Me and him, he taught me how to smoke cigars. We used to smoke cigars together.
Okay.
And he told me his mom told him, he's a married man he's a married man, but his mom told him when he was a kid, he said, "You are not going to be the most attractive man your wife ever see." He said, and she's not going to be the most attractive woman that you ever see. That once you understand that, you can get over that and be married to who you're supposed to be married to because of many other reasons. Also, they probably look good to you. Cool.
Right.
But she said, get that out your head, because if that moves you, you'll be jumping around forever and ever. If that moves you, who's fine or thick or all this stuff like that, you'll never have a stable home.
Right.
You'll never, because you'll always be moving around. It's like if somebody chased the money, it's always another nigga with more money.
Right.
It's always somebody else with more stuff than the next guy.
Yeah.
So you'll just be forever bouncing around. And that's what gives me that stability and that like you said, that rock, that foundation at home, is knowing that no matter what we talk about, money, looks, career, whatever you talk about, whatever, as far as the way I'm loved, that it only comes through chastity.
Right.
With my wife, chastity. I only get that through chastity.
Right.
Period. You know what I mean? So that right there is no competition.
It's none.
So, and it keeps me focused on, because I'm not looking for nothing else. I'm gonna get money on my own. I'm gonna have a dope career, build for my family on my own.
Right.
But that love that I receive from her, it can only come from one place, which comes through God. And that God placed her in my life for me.
Right.
Right. So if that's for me, then what can be against me?
Right.
Like the verse says. Like,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
What could be against me?
You know what I mean?
And then people like what she shared with her son about, there's always going to be something better or this over there. When you can look, the grass is going to be grass over there also. But it's not being focused on everything flowing around to where that your blessing is flying in, and you so distracted you don't even see your blessing as it comes. You sitting right next to it.
It was given to you already. You married her.
You married her.
You married her. So and you married her, and I married my blessing. I married God. God felt that, in my opinion, God felt that he loved me so much that he felt I should have somebody as great as my wife.
Right.
So what are you doing when you back when I'm fumbling and you messing up? So it's like, what are you doing? Like, you about to, because if you believe it's God, you believe God gave it to you, how you messing it up?
Yeah, I believe he built us how he built us no matter what.
Yeah.
And he sees, now when I look at my wife and I see her way up here, I see that God sees me at some point being there.
God, so here's the thing about God, in my understanding. God is always dealing with the extended, the best version of who Rios is.
Okay.
God already see the version, your fully blown out version, your fully loaded, maxed out capacity version, that's who God talks to anyway.
Okay.
God sees you in that capacity anyway. He just needs you to get to it.
Right.
Just like we talked about how our wife see, that's how God sees you. God deals with that. You know what I mean? So God is always dealing with, he already knows who you can be and what you can be. So his thing is get to that.
Get to that. And once I realize that that's what it is, I wouldn't settle for less for myself.
Never. Why would you?
Why would you?
Look, think about sin, right? And I know we went going biblical here a lot, but think about sin. Like if I think it's Proverbs 18:21, where it says life is death and life is in the tongue. That verse, I think it's Proverbs 18:21, about that verse which you brought up earlier. If you knew that, put it like this: if Tupac actually knew, in real life actually knew, if he believed in Proverbs 18:21, would you speak about death so much? If Biggie actually believed that, would you speak about death so much? Because it became your demise.
Right. It did.
It did.
It did.
No matter how you look at it, who set up, so he was set up, no matter how you cut it.
What you talked about came
what
and
you
found
talked about all the time, pulled up. You know what I mean? Because it's in scripture. It's biblical. It's a thing. When people say manifestation, I'm a manifest this whole podcast thing. Rios in a podcast, I'm a manifest. You know what? Quit my job and manifest this to be a content creator. I'm gonna take care of my family. Here's the thing. Manifest is just a word. You speaking it into existence, you still don't have the power. You speak it into existence to put it out there, but it's power in the tongue, but that only comes through God.
Right.
So when you speak it, when you say I manifested it, people who remove God from that, that's the problem.
That's the problem.
Right? When you move God from that is the problem. But if you speak it, you understand that I'm speaking this in accordance with what God feels like I should have.
Right.
So that's how I speak it. So when I say I want to be able to take care of my family, I don't want us to ever worry about money, I don't want to struggle, then I believe that God one day will elevate me in position to do what I need to do. So here's the thing. Even when I pray, I don't pray for, I have before, obviously. I prayed for a big house and a car and stuff like that, whatever. But I stopped doing that.
Right.
And I don't pray for these things no more because I ask God, prepare me for the things you want me to have. Because a lot of times we ask for things
we're not prepared
that you're not prepared to have. For example, how you gonna ask for a house if you're not good with money management?
Right.
What you gonna do with it? But lose it. Why would I give you something for you to lose it? Why would you pray for a husband if you still out here thotting and bopping in clubs? Why are you praying for a husband? Everybody talking about Sierra's prayer, right? But you on Instagram, on OnlyFans,
I heard about
your
Sierra's
things,
prayer. That's for Russell Wilson?
Yeah, for Russell Wilson, right? Everybody talking about Sierra's prayer. I got to use that prayer to whatever. But you praying for husband, but you out here every day you doing something. You messing with this dude, doing that, whatever. Like you're not leaving no room. And this not just for the women, guys too.
Yeah. Who
pray for a wife. You out here throwing your dear party everywhere. Everywhere you go, you throwing your dear party trying to get with somebody else. But where does God find space to put a good woman?
Yeah, exactly.
If you
got the windows this small.
Yeah, the window this small, right? You got a window this big. Where does God?
How do I fit this?
Yeah, that good woman. Where did God put the good woman? Where?
I have to make her small. I have to make this big good woman. I have to make her small to fit into this little window that you have left open.
Or you will.
Yeah. Exactly.
You will find a woman to fit in there.
Exactly.
And then wonder why you're not happy.
Exactly.
Wonder why she ain't what you wanted. because you found a woman to fit in here because you want to do all the stuff out here.
Right.
Right. So, yeah. So it's like it's ill, man. It's ill when you think about all just life in general and what our expectations is and what our wants are, what our desires are, and what makes us happy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But you said that if I might be saying wrong, Proverbs 18:21.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The speaking things into existence. Right. Have you ever been like? And I feel like I've said this multiple times lately. Is something that's on my mind clearly. When you're having an issue or you're having a problem, you can't figure something out.
Yeah.
And you've just been going over your mind with it, just going like you can't figure it out, and you're complex about something. But then you finally take the moment to talk to somebody about it. And as you talk to them about it, you figure it out as you're talking it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you don't even need them to give you any feedback.
Yeah.
But just you hearing it out loud.
You put it out there.
You putting it out there makes you see like either like, oh, well, that's a wrong way of thinking. Like that doesn't even sound right. Or that
a lot of times what you do is when you it's hot. So I can be thinking of like a creative way to do something, whatever that is. And I'm like, man, I can't think of a good title for the song I got.
Right.
Good title. I can't think of a title. I'm wrecking my brain like, what could be a good title? You know, you're trying to think about all these titles. And then I talked to Rios and I'm like, man, I've been trying to think of a title all day, man. I really can't. Wait a minute. What happened was you allowed yourself to relax.
right.
And which opened your mind up, and it allowed for the space for your ideas to flow, because sometimes we deal with so much stuff in here that we wreck our brains trying to focus on one thing. And now I'm like, okay, I gotta think of a title. Man, I'm hungry, man. I wonder what time we're gonna leave the studio. Oh, my wife just called me. Now,
Yeah.
these are all the things you think about in your head.
Yeah, exactly.
You got a clear mind. But if the minute I say, Rios, man, you can help me with, now you focus on one thing.
One thing.
Your mind opened up, and then boom, there's your idea. Because you're creative anyway. God made us creative.
Right.
He wants us to create things. Create. You know what I mean? So we have the gift to create, but a lot of times we got so much other things in our mind. That's why he be telling us to relax.
Relax.
Chill. Y'all worry about so much stuff. And the ultimate thing, give it to me. Give it to me.
And move on.
And move on. Give it to me. That's why I'm even learning that now. Like I pray about stuff, I got to give it to him and let it go.
Let it go. What is it? Let go and let God?
Let go and let God. And I heard another quote on the internet that said, worrying is worshiping the problem.
Right.
Like, it's like, how do I be like, God, you know what? My car just broke down. I need a blessing, or however you pray for that. If you can bless me, I need some kind of financial blessing or something, whatever. And then you pray about it. And then all day you worry sick about it. Now you're stressed out. You got a headache.
God does this. I hope God. Oh,
yeah,
Lord,
that's not
please.
faith.
No, it's not.
No, faith don't work like that.
Well, you need a mustard seed. That's it.
You know what I'm saying? You know? So, yeah, man. Yeah. That's wild.
So we're here now. So we're in the thick of it. I'm going to tell you when I first, this is Instagram.
Okay.
I know Luck. I know Luck's history or whatever, but I remember going to the internet and going on Instagram and seeing you outside of either your house or wherever you were. It was sunny outside, and the most remarkable thing happened. Something came out your mouth that I didn't ever think I would ever hear, and you were just glorifying God. And I had to turn up the volume. I was like, wait. Hold on. Not that I'm saying that I didn't think you believe in God or whatever that,
yeah.
but I didn't think that was going to be something I was going to see on Instagram.
For sure.
And it was such a surprise. I'm watching it, just watching the whole thing, and then I watched every one. You were dropping them and this and that. And I'm like, but that was something that I didn't foresee.
Yeah.
What was that? What transitioned, or what took you to that place, or what gave you the confidence? Because that was a totally different lane or energy
than what I was putting out before.
than what you were putting out before.
Yeah. So a couple things. I knew that me, once I gave my life to God, the things had to change around me. Right.
Okay.
I understand that you're never going to be perfect. So it's going to be a long fight trying to change all these things. And I didn't want to be like the dude who go to jail and now you get out, you're a Muslim, you're trying to tell all the homies like, no, my brother, we don't eat McDonald's, my brother. You know, you don't want to be that guy either and annoying. But
Sharif,
right? You don't want to be Sharif, right? But so what it was I knew that if I'm going to be on social media, my page couldn't be the same kind of page it was before because my page dealt with a lot of tearing people down.
Yeah,
because I'm naturally joking,
funny, baggy,
And if you don't know me, then it's just offensive.
Because it was for a moment, it was Luck and Pun's page for the sense of humor.
Yeah, that's what it was, back and forth. Me and Pun used to DM each other stuff, like jokes and stuff, and he'll put stuff on his story used to be lit.
Yeah.
And my page was the one on my timeline. So it was, if you don't know me, it's just, now it's just a fat joke.
Yeah.
Now it's just, I disrespected you.
Yeah.
Not knowing I would talk about myself like that. But they don't know, if they don't know you, you're strangers. So I would do that, and I thought to myself, like, if I'm going to be an example, right? Because, right, for a person like Rios to see my page and be like, wait, what? So for it to look real and be real, then some stuff got to change.
Stuff got to change.
Yeah, it got to change. So, because for a Rios to take me serious, because you can look at that and be like, oh, look, with BS, he still be, doing all wild stuff and cursing and doing all kind of stuff and whatever, and still be with the jokes. I can't tell other than him doing that video one time.
Right.
So I was like, okay, something got to change. So I'm going to turn my page into more positive. I know I'm going to lose followers. I know I'm going to just, people not going to like it. And, nobody like change. But it's what I have to do because I can't do what I used to do. Right. That's what
can't happen.
What can't happen, I can't do what I used to do. So let me change the more positive things. And I felt like if I spoke it, then people can hear me in the sincerity of my voice and look at my face when I'm saying, like, me giving glory to God and me thanking God or me being in my walk and me talking about, how hard the Christianity walk may be or how hard it's to change. But we all need God or hey, come to my church. Y'all welcome to my church if you want to come Sunday. And I do all that because these are ways I feel like it's a modern day we're reaching the people. Right. I also drive Uber too. I be driving Uber. I do a bunch of different stuff. And so I also felt like, because even sometimes when I pray in the car, sometimes when I pray in the morning, I pray also, God allow me to minister to someone today. Right. And if I'm ever in a situation where I do have to minister, speak through me. Right. Right. So I got to be ready to be on it.
Because look, you know why you do though? Really, really. And this has happened in my life, but for you could talk to people that pastors can't talk to. You can talk the lingo and you can get people to open up that are from your old walk. Yeah. Where a pastor may not be able to deliver that message. Yeah. Because it's not relatable. Yeah, they can't see themselves. Yeah. And you are.
Because they look at pastors are like trying to be holier than thou or like trying to be perfect people. But I'm flawed. And we all flawed and messed up. Flawed.
But the brother that's in front of the grocery store that looks intimidating, that looks scary, that we're not intimidated of or scared of. Hey, what's up, brother? What you out here doing, man?
Right. And that's happened in my car before. That's happened a bunch of times driving, doing Uber or I just meet somebody out and or somebody, one of the homies may just be like, man, I be thinking about God. You think, is God real? Or I'm like, oh, there go the door. When I pray, I remember, let me tell you about this time. I pray that every morning. I pray that, allow me to be able to minister to someone today and help me find the words because I need to read my Bible more. I don't read my Bible as much as I should. Okay. But even in that, I don't ever want to fumble an opportunity if somebody ever approaches me about God and want to know about Christ. Right. I feel like that's one of my most important jobs, period. Right. So I remember one time I prayed for that, and then I went to a 7-Eleven one morning, and for some reason, the donut shop by this is right on 20th and like 14th, I think street is. street is? 20th and 4th. No, sorry. Santa Monica and like 14th. There's a 7-Eleven there. And also in that shopping center, it's a donut shop. But that donut shop sell like breakfast sandwiches also. Breakfast sandwiches and stuff. I was like, you know what, man, I'm going to go here to try one of their breakfast sandwiches. So I walked from 7-Eleven, walked over there to the donut shop. And it was this, I don't want to say homeless, but it just appeared like dude was homeless.
Yeah.
And
it's a little marginal.
Yeah, right. So I ordered my food, waited for my food, and he was in there just talking to himself. Whatever, I've been just talking. He just talking. I'm just standing in the corner, and he said, yeah, man. He said, it's crazy, man. He said, man, yeah, my life, man, something about God. Like he said, something like, I run around, my path, and is God real? And I was like, oh, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
It only took a second. But the reason why I said, like, I did like that, because it came out of nowhere. It wasn't like it was a natural flowing conversation.
Yeah.
He was talking to himself the whole time in there.
Right.
Like gibberish. Like you talk, like, homies.
Yeah. That crazy.
See other people, right? I felt like he was talking to somebody he sees somewhere.
Yeah.
And he turned to me and was like, yeah, something like, is God, like, you think, do you believe in God? Something like that. And I was like, oh, there you go.
See, because that's scared, like, that doesn't scare me, but it's like, that could have been him.
Bro, what?
That could have been him.
Dude, that's why I don't look. If you ask, here's the thing about, how God works, well, I'm learning how God works. If, it's like the saying, I think it said on Bruce Almighty too. We talked about Morgan Freeman. I quoted this, and I don't want to butcher the quote, but I'm going to use an example. He said, if you ask God for fear, do you think He's going to take away your fear, or He's going to put you in a situation to be courage? He's going to put you in a situation where you have to show courage. You know what I mean? If you ask for strength,
He's just going to give it to you?
He's going to give it to you, or He's going to put you in a situation where you got to be strong.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if I'm asking to minister to someone, and then prepare for, like, if you ever, it's like telling, some of the, it's a kind of like a joke, but it's like one of the scariest things is when you ask God to use you.
Right.
Because God can use you in any capacity He wants, and it ain't always good.
No.
It ain't always good. Like you might be for somebody else's testimony.
Exactly. You might lose your leg for the person across the street to learn.
It might get real for you, right? And it's all in the glory of God, and non-believers will understand that. They say, oh, well, why would God do that? That's wicked. They understand. I don't question things I can't understand all the time. I just know my God is a good God. Whatever it is for the greater good of myself.
Right.
However it is. Even if it was, I had to go into something and my life be sacrificed for something for the greater good, then I also believe that me being a believer and me being saved is that even though I'm going, I'll be with Him when it's time for us to be with Him.
Right.
So it's kind of ill when you just speaking of any of these things, and you have a responsibility as a host.
Right.
You know what I mean? As a host to have any kind of message out there. There are going to be people. Here's the thing. I'm kind of jumping.
Okay.
I'm switching topics, but
it's okay.
Same topic, but I was watching the Braxton's new season the other day, right?
Tony Braxton's family.
Yeah, her family, right? The Braxtons. And I'm looking at Tony Braxton's sons, and because they're older now. Her son's like a model. He's the oldest. He's like a model or something. He's grown. And I was telling my wife, I said, man, it's crazy. We watch these babies grow up on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been watching the Braxton show since the beginning. He was a baby.
Yeah.
And he's all the way a grown up now. And it's crazy how you be watching time fly by. And so what happens is that Rios, somebody can be watching Rios and start his podcast, and then 7 years later, he could be in the biggest version. He probably got a network now and all kind of stuff. And you done raised some kids through your podcast too. Right. Not your own kids. I'm talking about like viewers.
Right.
That's been with you. Maybe they started watching, they were like 16, and now they're like 23 and 24. Like you basically raised some people.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine what kind of stuff they've been watching your podcast, or what kind of stuff they picked up.
Right.
You know what I mean? They could have learned how, oh no, you know what? I'm not going to be no cheater. That ain't cool.
Right.
Like that ain't, Rios talk about that all the time. Rios talk about how it is to be, you know, loyal to your wife and how you should love your lady, how you should respect your woman. Like, and you didn't push that down nobody's throat. You just said that's what you feel like a real man should do.
Right.
And so you never know who on the other side of that picking that up. Some kid like, yeah, I would, yeah, that
who it resonates with.
Who it resonates with. You know what I mean? You know, they say if you save one, that's enough.
It's
you know
enough.
what I mean? It's more than enough, you know, but I always look at that like, how do I use my platforms and my spaces when I'm being seen or being heard, you know?
Well, I think you're doing a good job, man. Because,
thank you, man.
like I said, from that video, I knew it was because it wasn't like you came out like and you were trying to be perfect in your delivery.
Yeah.
You're like, you might have even made a disclaimer like, I don't know how to deliver this or how it's going to be received, but I've been compelled to do this. You know what I mean? Like, and it started like that, and I was like, and some of you might like it or may not, but this is what, and you put it out there.
Now that you say that's my first video. I remember that because I remember some people gonna be uncomfortable, and I know some people gonna follow me. But this is what it's about to be.
This is what it's about to be.
You know what I mean? And I remember that. Wow, because I was also nervous too because
I've never seen you like that.
Yeah.
Like the thing is, I've known Luck. Even when you show up, where you would show like they're like walking in like no hesitation in speech, no hesitation. But this was you being vulnerable.
Yeah, man.
In a place that you were not familiar. It wasn't a familiar place that you were coming from, and I was like, "Damn, this is heavy right here."
It felt like I'm in a new space. Essentially I am.
Yeah,
I'm a new space. I'm trying to walk this thing out, and hopefully I'm doing it the right way. And hopefully we all gonna make our mistakes. We're gonna make our things, but also know people are watching, and I have a whole church that's watching. I have my pastor. We follow each other. Like, you know, I want to make sure I'm saying the right things. And if I do mention a verse, then I quote the right verse. And I do all these things because I have responsibility to someone to be like, you know, or it might look. Let me say, since I've been doing my testimony on Instagram and doing my videos, I've invited tons of people to my church.
Okay.
You know, a couple of people joined my church coming through because I invited them. One of my good friends, crazy, I would invite people to church, and his wife, who's my friend, hit me because she's a Christian, and she was saying, you know, she wanted me to invite her husband. Because she tried to invite him, but he don't never want to go. I mean, if you can invite him, I see you invite people to church. If you invite him, I think he'll go because you're your friend, you're his homie. I think he'll go if you invite him. And I said, oh, no, I will for sure. I'll invite him. So I hit him up, and I invited him. He came to church with her. They came to church together. And this was last year or right before last year. No, last year, I think. And he came to church, and he's a deacon at my church now.
What?
He's a deacon. And she in the choir. She's a deaconess.
Look at that woman.
Choir.
Look at what this woman did.
Dude.
She wanted her husband at church. And it wasn't working. She said, how can I get my man here?
Look what happened.
Look, get at it like, and
that's
you
why
got
I said, that's why you got to be obedient. That's why. Now, what if I just never would have hollered at him?
Yeah.
Just on something like I didn't do my duty as a Christian to invite him to church after she asked me to invite her husband to church. What if I didn't do my job as a Christian where I'm supposed to disciple the people and minister to people and give somebody the gospel? What if I had not did that?
Right.
You know, I'm not saying he would have never got it. I'm just saying like I was supposed to be one of God used me and he used her to use me to get to him.
Right. She's
already a Christian.
Right.
I'm already a Christian. He used her to get to me to get to him. I need him.
Everyone.
You know what I mean? Get him there.
Get him there.
You know what I mean? So end up getting him there. He flourishing.
Right.
Became a deacon. Pastor seen it in him early. Became a deacon. He's a great deacon. He's at all the services. He don't miss church. God is good, man. And the way he works it out, he gonna get us all there. He gonna get us all there. And I have talked to friends and stuff like that, and people see like my I'm working on trying to grow as a Christian, as my journey, right? As a father, as a husband, trying to get better day to day, you know, and it's a hard walk, and it's a forever journey. It's never like going to be, oh, I got it all together. It's never going to happen, right? So I got to get as close as possible to being a stand-up, good man of God as possible.
Right. So when you made that leap of faith and going on your new journey, as you said, some of you are going to unfollow, some of you are going to walk away. As you notice, some go away. Some go away and say, this ain't real. It'll fall off in a second. You know what I mean? Sure. And I'll be back when it falls off. You know, the doubters doubters in you.
Yeah.
And then did you see those people or see some people come back like, oh, you know what? This is it. This is what it is. I have to deal with him.
I didn't, you know what? I didn't even see who left.
Okay.
Now I just know my numbers changed.
Okay.
So I knew.
I'm talking about this is in the walk of your life.
Oh, my
actual life.
Oh no, so here's how how I saw it change. Now I didn't see nobody specifically just turn around and not, right? But there was other ways. Mm-hmm. There were like random like arguments and situations that was like, wait, this ain't even about me. Oh, we not friends no more? Oh, okay. Like that kind of stuff. I lost a good friend being in this. I love him to death, but we just can't be friends no more. It's just, you know, lost a good friend doing this. People, I think, not that I lost other friends, but people tend to not want to hang out as much.
Because that light is on you.
Well, I think
that light starts.
I think it's because, well, I can't speak to that per se. Mm-hmm. I also, my other perspective is that because you feel like I wouldn't do the stuff y'all do when y'all have fun.
Okay.
Like
yeah.
You wouldn't really invite the one homie who don't drink when y'all go into like, you know what I mean?
Okay, I agree with that. Mm. But I also think sometimes you can be a mirror.
Oh no, 100%. I'm just saying I don't know if it's that with them, but also for
like,
sure.
Because somebody can be on the right path or living a cleaner life.
My wife was a mirror.
Okay, there we go.
My wife was in the church. She was Christian already.
Right.
In the church, and mind you, I'm at the house watching all the like African spirituality, like Jesus ain't real, y'all crazy, that white man, and they got y'all spooked and whatever. I get, you know, I'm in the house watching all that loud on YouTube.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Loud. And she just in the other room. Like,
in the other room.
Being a Christian, praying for me. Praying I get it together.
Like he's gonna get it, God.
Praying I get it together. You know, so yeah. My wife was a mirror. My wife would go to church. She would ask me.
Yeah.
She knew I wasn't going. She'd be like, "Are you sure you want to go to church?" Okay. You know, she'd walk off and go to church. Come back. "Hey, you want to go to church today?" Or she want to ask a couple of times and ask you, "Hey, I'm about to go to church. If you want to go, you can, you know."
Yeah.
No, I'm cool. And I wouldn't even notice that she was asking me like that. Eventually, she stopped asking me for sure because she knew I wasn't going. But my conviction came one night. We was at a friend's house, and we started hanging with some of my best friends. My best friends, their name is the Benton, Sweet Pea and Slim, good friends of mine, and Eric and his wife Asia. We used to have game night at my old friend's house, and as they were playing, man, the only way I can describe it is that I felt like I was doing something wrong.
Okay.
Like they were playing a game, and I'm sitting behind them. They were in a circle, sitting on the couches, and I'm sitting in the high chair, looking down on the game, like kind of behind them. I'm not in the game; I'm just looking down on the game. And I felt something in me, and it felt like how can I describe it? It felt like you're going down the wrong path.
Okay.
It felt like that. Like it felt like I not that I didn't hear a clear voice, but it felt like, oh, this is the wrong path. You need to answer the door?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Quick. It felt like it was.
I felt like I can't lie and say it was as clear as a voice.
Yeah.
But I felt like something was telling me you're you're going down the wrong path. That's not what you kind of like. That's wrong. What you're studying is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and come home.
Come home.
Like I said, I didn't hear a clear voice, but I interpreted to that in that moment.
Right.
And the first thing I said was, I'm doing something wrong. This is wrong. And I started crying.
Oh, shit.
And they was like, what? They turned around. And then, so these are people that are men and women of God already.
Mm-hmm.
So for them, it wasn't like shocking or anything. It was more so like, for them it was shocking. It was more so like, just like pray.
Mm-hmm.
My homegirl started speaking in tongues. Well, my own homegirl. So, only saying that because we'll talk off camera. She chose to not be my friend anymore.
Okay.
So, but the rest of them we're some of the best of friends.
Okay.
She started speaking in tongues, and the rest of them started praying. And I started crying, and I said, I said, this ain't it. And then once they asked me, well, you okay? What happened? I said, man, I don't know, but I feel like God telling me that that's not it, what I'm doing. I'm going the wrong way. I'm going the wrong way. And then they started talking to me about like, not really going into deeply about Christianity, but more so like explaining to me that's conviction and God's trying to tell you to come home.
Right.
You know, so, and when they said that to me, they put a word to the feeling I was feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Because, Rios, I'm not lying, it didn't feel like a health thing.
Yeah.
It didn't even feel like it was, I felt it inside, but it didn't feel physical.
Yeah.
And I felt like something was snatching me up. Like God was saying, come home now.
Now's the time.
Now is the time to come home. Like you've been hanging around them. You told your wife no to church enough times, or you gonna go next week. That's out. Come home now.
Yeah.
And that day, they start praying for me. They put their hands on me, start praying on me, stuff like that, praying over me. And then they was just explaining to me about what conviction is, and explaining that to me. But what I appreciate was they were very delicate with how not forcing me to, okay, you got to go to church now. It wasn't that. They just told me like, you know, whenever you're ready, you know, God letting you know that now is the time though.
Right.
You know, now is the time. Give your life to him.
And interpretation is so strong too. You know what I mean? Like being able to interpret that message or interpret a feeling and put it into like perspective, because if you're not ready, that message is not received. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just like, some people may get a feeling like, you know, let me go get a bottle.
I'm trying to block it out.
Let me go get a fifth, or let me go smoke something.
I knew it wasn't physically my body that's feeling it. And I also knew that it was something bigger than me.
Right.
So, and then I trust the people here. So when they start telling me about conviction, how God works, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's what's going on then. Yeah. Because I was already crying and and praying over me already, because it came out of nowhere, bro.
It's emotional.
I'm literally sitting here like I'm talking to you. I'm watching the game, like they laughing and we clowning. I'm whatever. I probably didn't say nothing for a second, and then next thing you know, my eyes started watering. And I just started crying, and the first thing I said was like, "Oh, this is wrong. This is wrong. I'm doing it wrong. I'm doing it wrong." You know. And then like I said, homegirl started busting out in tongues, start praying.
Just from what she saw.
Yeah, she knew.
So whatever happened was happening to you. She was connected to it.
She got gifts. My friends got gifts. Not all of them, but a lot of she is a seer.
Okay.
Like she would be like, Rios, I dreamt this about you.
Okay.
Let me tell you about this. I dreamt about this and that, whatever. I don't know what that means all the way clearly yet, but just letting you know I dreamed this, whatever. And then I can't put a time on, but 2 weeks or a week or 2 months or 3 months, you'll be like, man, remember that thing you told me about that time? Well, yeah, that was I got this in my job and promotion, whatever. She's like that.
Dang, that's crazy, because we always say his timing is the best timing, right?
It's perfect.
What if that would have came over you when she wasn't there, this and that, like to make that feel?
People had to, because if I would have been around the people I was with, there I wouldn't even know how to explain it. I would have felt like I felt anyway, but I wouldn't have had nobody around to explain that for me, in which made me recognize it. Yeah. And not only did I recognize it, I respected it because I went to church after that.
Yeah,
I finally went. After that happened to me,
you took heed to the message.
What? After that happened to me, I went straight to church.
Right,
and not like willingly walking in comfortable. Like I was still like kind of reserved and like
conservative, intimidated a little bit.
I kind of want to sit. Like you almost in the front, babe. I don't want to sit here.
Yeah,
like that. I was like that, And but then church made me feel real comfortable.
Good.
And
what's the name of your church and your YouTube channel before we get out of here?
I got my churches. I go to Greater Zion Church Family on 2809 North Wilmington in Compton, California.
Okay.
And my YouTube channel is Good Lucc TV. GOODLUCC TV.
Good Lucc TV.
Yeah, Good Lucc TV.
Hey, this is one of many sit downs that we're going to have.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Went as long as it's going to go longer. I have people here that have to do something on the house. It's going to get loud, but this is an open invitation to you to come here whenever.
Thank you, bro.
Whenever you want to talk, whenever you want to sit down, you want to get something off your chest.
Yeah.
This is a safe space for you to just let it go.
I appreciate that. And I do want to say, one, thanks for having me. Thanks for hitting me up.
Yeah.
And two, like I said earlier, and I'm going to explain what I mean. I did not expect this. Now, I don't mean that in a way of like disrespect or anything. I'm saying like, I was just prepared to be like, I'm gonna go chop it up Rios, we about to clown a little bit. But what I love about the way it went was because it went the way it was supposed to go. And instead of suppressing it, like some other hosts would probably do, like, I don't want it to be that deep. Or I would rather jokes. I would rather you let it go wherever it needed to go.
Right.
And I appreciate that. And you let me tell my story even in that, no matter if it's serious or not. I appreciate that. So I'm looking forward to many other episodes, especially by knowing that you're going to let it go wherever it needs to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
That means and which also hats off to you. It lets the people know, because people been seeing you as one element the whole time, right? But it lets the people know, like, no, I'm geared for way much more than just jokes.
Just jokes.
I'm geared for way much more than just, I can have a conversation about many things, and we about to have them.
Right.
I'm about to show y'all.
Right.
Which will make it, which what happens, it widens your platform even more. And I'm talking about not just sponsorships and money and stuff like that, just the viewer.
The consumer, the viewer.
Yeah. So hats off to you, man. Congrats, bro.
Hey,
this was dope.
And I want you to always be unchained, free to be Luck. And whatever's on your mind that day, whatever's on your heart, whatever's on your spirit, we talking about it here.
Appreciate it.
And it's not,
appreciate that.
I'm not here thinking about, oh, wait, maybe this person won't like this, maybe this. Like, no. Either you're going to listen, you're not going to listen. But we about to talk about what the feeling of the day is. What we have on our heart and on our spirit is going to be talked about no matter what.
For sure.
So thank you for coming.
My man, for sure. Thanks for having me.
This is Reality Check with Rios. We got my boy Bad Lucc in the building to talk about some amazing things, to share an amazing story that he's had. And this is one of many. So get back with us. Check us out. We got part one. We're going to call this part one
for sure.
of Lucc and Rios.
That's dope.
Let's go. Hey.